Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
And welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on an exciting, wild, crazy edition of Crime and Sports. Of course, it's been wild the last few weeks. We had Ron Lyle with his multiple murder charges, and we had an English race car driver, which is always going to be fun last week. We can't not have fun with an English race car driver. And then today we have an insane NFL player that just had two of the craziest years I've ever heard of in terms of crime in my life. It's just wild stuff here. Before we get to that, very quickly, thank you for everything. Thank you for your reviews. If you have done that, we appreciate it. 5 stars on whatever app you're listening to. Thank you very much. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything, all of your tickets for live shows and all of your merchandise. Tickets available for the Crime and Sports live show at the Ace of Spades in August in Sacramento. So get your tickets for that. Also, Small Town Murders out there. Get all your tickets. Come see us at a live show. We love it. We love the damn live shows, and we like seeing everybody out there. Patreon this week is cooking. Oh, my goodness. I can't wait. So much fun here. For $5 or above, if you go to patreon.com/crime and sports, you get access to everything. Crime and Sports bonus, Small Town Murder bonus. And by the way, if you haven't listened to Small Town Murder at all, maybe check it out because it's insane. If you like these, if you like these crazy stories, you will definitely like those crazy stories. So check that out. But this week for Patreon, you're going to get access to it all. And for Crime and Sports, we have one of the better scams I've ever heard of, one of the crazier ones. A guy ran a NASCAR race with no qualifications. He just showed up, faked everything, ran a race, and then disappeared and nobody ever saw him again for 40 years. And then
drove a car in the race?
He just resurfaced like within the last week and said, I'm here, here's who I am and what happened and the whole deal. It's the craziest shit ever. Like he just appeared.
How does that even happen?
That's what I mean. It's the craziest story. You have to hear. We love a scammer on this show, so you have to hear that. And then for Small Town Murder, we are going to go over some of the times when pop culture things were accused of helping in a murder. Basically, when people accuse, because we had an episode where they blamed this kid's whole entire murder plot on Grand Theft Auto 3, and it was asinine. So we're going to go over other times when music was blamed for kids doing crazy shit and video games were killed or were blamed for murders and stuff. So pop culture being blamed for stupidity is what we're going to get into for that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Check all of that out. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And of course, you'll get a shout out at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Why not? Of course, you get a shout out. We love you. So Jimmy will mispronounce your name to show how much we do care for you. And if you just want your shout out and, to be a great person with good karma, you can do that over at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. All right, it is. Let's do this, Jimmy. Let's get into this case because this is a crazy-ass story, man. I'm
looking forward to it.
This is one of these stories that I remember all of this stuff going on briefly, but because it was right after we started, we started Crime and Sports like right after all of this, but it was... It was amongst a whole bunch of other things at that time. So this guy kind of got buried in the background, even though his shit's just as crazy as anybody's. There was a particular video that was even crazier than the video that came out of him. So it got overshadowed and we didn't hear about it as much. But this whole 2014, 2015 was when we were like, we got to, I was like, we have to do a Crime and Sports podcast, like a podcast about crime. Because remember, we were like, we can just. I remember saying to you, we could do like, what's happening this week in sport. Who's got arrested this week? Like that was the original idea for this. So
it was happening so much.
Yeah, this was one of the inspirations, we'll say. So somehow it took us 302 episodes to get to him, but one of the inspirations here is Ray McDonald. Do you remember him?
I don't know
Niners and Bears briefly. That's what I mean. You would if it wasn't for some other people that we'll talk about here. So he's Ray McDonald, played for years. Was on national championship Florida Gators team we'll talk about, and he's been around. Raymondo Antoine McDonald is his full name here. Ray McDonald, born September 2nd, 1984. He's from, I don't know if I'm going to fuck this all up. Jesus, I hate pronouncing these fucking Florida.
It's pronounced Poughkeepsie.
Yeah, well, it's Pahokee, actually. So that's the thing. It's got a lot of similarities that you said that. It's Pahokee, Florida. Pahokee, Florida.
Okay.
I don't know. So his dad is a football player as well, or was in college. His dad played four-year Letterman for the Florida Gators playing football.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's a wide receiver for them, and he was on the 85 team that finished 9-1-1. So, yeah, Ray McDonald Sr. was a good player. Never went to the NFL or anything like that, though. Just kind of a good college player. Good college player. That's all. One of those guys that was his peak, was college. Decent player, but not good enough to really go to the NFL. And he didn't reach that. What's that? Do you know? I don't know if you know the name of this. There's a certain thing, I can't remember. It's a theory that they have that, like any other theory, this theory, that theory, but it's a funny thing. It's that everybody will get promoted to the point of incompetence, basically.
Yeah.
Like people will be great at something and then they will inevitably be pushed into doing something else because they were so great at that. And that'll happen as you go. Like you start as an opening comic, and then you do really well, so they make you a feature, and then whatever. So then you become a headliner. But then if you become a headliner, and then you get a TV show, but that TV show's above where your talent is. Sure. Your talent is on stage doing that, but you don't know how to write a TV show and do all this shit, so you fail at that. But they pushed you to the point of failure. That's what it always is. You get pushed to the point. So it's a weird human thing that we have where nobody just is great at something and then we keep them doing that and they want to keep doing that. It's always, well, you're great at that, so you should do the next thing. You know what I mean?
And with football, you age out of that too, like Tim Tebow.
Yeah, exactly. You age out of that, but like he didn't hit that spot because that happens in baseball a lot, where guys will be great in the minors and they promote them to the point of incompetence, and that's kind of. But it happens in business all the time. That's the big joke in corporate America, is that you get promoted until you can't do the job. Basically, you get promoted until you suck at something, and then they keep you there till you retire. That's the other thing. Once you suck at something, you don't go back to the thing you were good at. You just stay in the thing you're shitty at for the last 20 years of your career. It's the stupidest thing in the world.
And fuck the company until you leave with a golden parachute.
Well, that's why corporate America is a shit show, because of that kind of shit there. Like, no, it's stupid. So, but it's the human thing to want to do that, to want to go to the next thing and accomplish, climb the next hill.
I'm sure it has a great name for what that is. I don't know things about theories. I know I know theory of gravity, relativity, and then the ones that are conspiracy related.
We know lots of those. I don't remember. This is just one of those so-and-sos, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't remember. I didn't go to college, so this is all shit that I pick up here and there. I don't remember. I didn't do a fucking thing on it and have to write a paper. I just read it.
And Freud had one too, but I'm not sure what it is because that guy wrote it, and I didn't read it.
Relativity is a good one I know of.
I had that
theory.
one. Yeah,
that's a good theory. Yeah,
I had relativity, gravity, and conspiracy.
Oh, I was just saying that relativity is a good one. That's one of my
solid
favorites.
one.
It's one of my favorites, really. I was agreeing. It was so good. So. Ray obviously plays football, and he is huge. He's like 6'3", 6'4", between 280 and 300 pounds.
Jesus.
Big, giant, strapping, impressive athlete. He's fast. He's explosive. He's impressive. He's a defensive lineman and just a bad son of a bitch.
He was dad 2.0.
Yeah, he's dad, but bigger, stronger, faster, everything, So he goes to Glades Central High School in Belle Glade, Florida, And he plays there for the Glades Central Raiders. That was the name of their team there, so that's good.
Sounds badass.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Florida's very competitive for high school football. It's like
I believe that.
Texas and Florida, the talent in Florida, there's so much of it. A third of the football talent in the country comes out of Florida. It's crazy. Sure. Yeah. And baseball, too, I guess because it's year-round, you can play.
It's got to be what it is because other people don't get to practice when you get to.
If you're from Maine, there's no, 8 months out of the year, there's not a lot of baseball going on. So
that's why the most famous person there is a writer who did that shit indoors.
When it's cold, that's what he was doing. With a crackle and fire, he's doing that. Whereas Florida, it's like, get out of the house, goddammit. Jesus, it's sunny out.
He sat indoors and in the dark and wrote about creepy shit.
So what we're saying is if Stephen King grew up in Orlando, he would have been like a 10-year all-star second baseman for somebody, right? Or great ball player.
Letterman quarterback. And
great ball player. Well, he's kind of short, so I was thinking, isn't he short?
Yeah, he also doesn't have the face of a quarterback.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. They look at him and go, Jesus, we got to get a more face mask to put you behind you. Maybe an offensive lineman if we can bulk you up.
Catcher's mitt. Yeah.
Just more face. Yeah, maybe a catcher's mask, something. Because
have you seen the linebackers sunshade? We could get you one of those.
That would be great. That would be great for you, I feel like. You are a hideous man.
Hideous.
He really is.
And I realize that you get uglier as you age, but slow it down, Steve.
Man.
Calm down.
No one's ever been like, that Stephen King's fucking hot. Like, I've never heard it.
He's really a silver fox.
Yeah. Anybody who's ever wanted to fuck Stephen King, it's definitely not for what he's putting out. It's for who he is and what he does and how he thinks and shit like that. It's definitely not like, ooh. No.
It's going to be with the lights off for sure.
Don't tell me any stories. Don't say anything. Just bring that hot face over here and fuck me. I don't think anybody's ever said that to Steve. No, not a word. Just
nobody said I want to ride his face.
This is pure physical lust right here. Give me some of that king cock. Now, give me it. Give me the king cock. King of horror, my ass. He's the king of doggy style is what he is, baby. Yeah. King cock. Woo. Just ladies all over Maine with a king size handprint on their palm on their ass cheek from getting it on.
Anybody fucking him, it's certainly doggy, and they're just going, he has a ton of money.
He's so talented. Tell me another story, Steve, and make it up right now. And as he does it, he can do it. So they're like, okay. So there's people on an island. Okay, I get it. All right. Well, we don't know it's an island. All right, okay. Just getting plowed.
So a mist comes in, and everybody dies of horrible attacks. All right, keep going.
That's more like M. Night Shyamalan there. Steven.
Is that who that was?
I don't know.
No, that was a Stephen King movie, right?
I don't remember. And M. Night Shyamalan had one where the plants turn against you, so anything's possible with that guy.
Good Lord. Really?
Yeah, that was bad. With Marky Mark, remember?
No,
with Mark Wahlberg. It's the funniest fucking thing in the world. He's like Marky Mark making that face at a plant. Like suspicious, like, you coming at me, tree? Hey, tree, you coming at me? You coming at me right now, tree? I've been working out, I can outrun you, tree.
He'd call the tree the N-word.
Yeah. Fucking N-word, tree. I'll kick your ass. Oh, yeah, I'll come over there right now, buddy. You better not.
His Stephen King's face and Marky Mark, two things I certainly despise.
Although I would like to see Stephen King's face on like 1991 Marky Mark's body, when he's weightlifting with cinder blocks, but with Stephen King's face on it. Come on, feel it. That king cock, feel it.
Nothing would have made me happier than Marky Mark waking up at like 38 with Stephen King's face.
Oh my God, he deserves that.
That would have been amazing.
Or if Stephen King one of these days, he's like doing an interview and he just gets up and rips his shirt off and he's fucking jacked with like abs and shit, like fucking, and he's just like, what? You didn't ask if it was under here.
You didn't. Yeah, nobody said a word. Is it the face? Was it the face?
Of course nobody knew. Nobody asked what my body looked like. And this is what it looks like. It's fabulous. It's chiseled. Stone Greek
You're all
god.
missing out.
Thank you.
I would kill in the blind community, although they don't read many books.
Yeah, although I'd have to keep my face away from them, because if they felt that, I'd be done. No. Feel my abs. Feel this first, and then feel my face. Did I mention how talented I am? Sit down. I'll tell you a story. Please.
I just saw in a movie, Marky Mark. I watched the movie because it was on Netflix, and Marky Mark, in the script it says supposedly, and that dipshit said supposedly, and they have editing, and they left that shit in.
Is this character supposed to be an idiot, though?
No.
Oh, okay.
There's no, reason for him to say it. He just said it's because that's how, I'm convinced that's how that dipshit talks.
Then he broke the fourth wall, looked at the camera, and said, feel it, yeah. Come on.
That's right, I'm dumb.
Feel it. My cousin's and the new kids on the block, yo. Brother, I don't know. Are they brothers or cousins or something?
They're brothers, yeah. It's
Whatever.
Just a bunch of dipshits.
Bunch of fucking idiots. Anyway.
Fuck it. I hate that family.
Yeah, it's a terrible family. They've given us bad things. Bad things. Marky Mark, by speaking, one more Mark Wahlberg thing I saw recently. He's like, I'm going to make all faith-based movies now. And I'm like, that's what we need. Marky Mark for Jesus. How you doing? Marky Mark for Jesus here. Just wanted to tell you all that, Jesus is good. I brought Christ into my life and made my abs better. You know what I mean? My workout routine is much tighter right now. I'm not going to lie. It's tighter. It's because I'm thinking about Psalms and shit, right? That's how you say it? Yeah, the P silent. Psalms. I heard that because, people told me that. My manager said, stop saying Psalms because no one knows what you're saying. And I was like, oh, shit, yeah, you're right. That's why people were looking at him. They was looking at me real weird all the time. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with you people? Sorry.
Didn't he see what that did to Kurt Cameron? Why would he do that?
I don't know.
Ruin that guy's fucking life.
Who cares what he does, really?
I hope it ruins his life. I really do.
He's like, I'm going to make like more Entourage and Jesus stuff. That's the two things I'm going to make. So I'm going to do like coke off of chicks' tits. I'm going to have movies with that and things. And then I'm going to do Jesus stuff too. Maybe I'll make Jesus's Entourage. That's what I'm going to call the apostles, the Entourage from now on. I'm going to make a movie about Jesus, but he'll be a hot up and coming, because he was a hot guy back then, he's in Nazareth and he's doing his thing. You know what I mean? He's turning water into wine and stuff. And his friends again, they get benefits from it. They're getting laid left and right. They're fucking Mary Magdalene's friends are fucking Peter, they're fucking Paul, they're fucking everybody. This is good. Somebody write this down. I gotta go work
Judas
out.
Turtle Iscariot.
I gotta work out right now. Hold on. All right, sorry. So I'm off the Wahlbergs here.
That wasn't off the wall thing to do.
By the way, how's our hamburgers doing? Are they good? Are people buying them? Do they eat them?
Is that what he's going to do, too, is make Jesus burgers?
They had a fucking hamburger
In-N-Out's got
business.
that nailed down. I know.
Oh, yeah. He's going to I'm putting salams on the bottom of the cups. It's a great idea. No one's ever thought of it before.
We're gonna burn the salams into the burger, right into the patty.
Into the patty. No one's done it before. I'm telling you.
We're gonna have irons. They're all made into fucking salams.
How do you say it again, Sid? Psalms. We're gonna put psalms on it.
Well, that's spelled stupid.
Just leave the P off.
Supposedly, it's pronounced psalms.
Supposedly, they tell me it's psalms. I don't know. Well, then leave the P off because people are going to be confused. I was like, what's a palasamasum? And they don't fucking know either. No one's going to know what we're talking about. No one's going to know what's a pasalami. I don't know what the fuck it is. Just say Psalms with an S so people know, Jesus. Not everybody went to divinity school, you know what I'm saying? I mean, some of us are just trying to get by with a little Bible in our hand, that's all.
Why don't you just spell it SOMS? It's so much easier for me. I'm
so
dumb.
So much easier. Jesus Christ. These fucking people, man. They're making my life harder than it has to be is my problem. So, back to, who the fuck are we talking about? Ray McDonald. That's right.
Ray McDonald.
Not one of the...
Jacked.
So,
Dan 2.0.
He's huge. Yeah. And in high school for the Glade Central High School Raiders here, as a junior in the year 2000, he's the starting defensive lineman, and the team won the Florida Class 3A state championship there. And then in 2001, he was named Palm Beach County Player of the Year as a senior.
Okay.
So very highly
Crushing it. Yeah.
touted guy here. He's got some injury problems, as we'll talk about here in college.
Yeah. Okay.
They kind of go away in his pro career, but he's a fragile monster here in the early goings. Yeah,
it's a delicate flower.
Absolutely. Well, he gets recruited to Florida, where his dad went. So he's he's a legacy and everything else. So they really were. Yeah. He's a local guy and a legacy. So they went hard after him, and he decides to go there. They decide to redshirt him in 2002, which is just you're not playing at all. You're just kind of you keep your eligibility though is how that works. So they redshirt him as a true freshman in 2002. And I guess in 2003, he worked with the Gator scout team, I guess. And then he had some kind of elbow injury in here. He's had a few. Yeah, he ends up having a knee injury later, but he has an elbow injury in here. There's
all his joints are fucked.
They're all fucked up. I don't know what it is. All sorts of fucked up joints. But he gets to Florida State in 2002. He's not on the team till 2005, though, which is very strange.
Holy shit.
It's a red shirt year, a scout team year, and then I guess an injury year. I don't know what's going on here. It's very strange, but he's got to be very ready, though, by the time he gets... Yeah. I mean, Christ, he's been there for 3 years.
Well, an arthritis year?
He's got an arthritis year. He took a year off to write a book. He's going to...
This is amazing.
It's a mystery set in Maine, Jimmy. It's about an old man's curio shop.
And very fragile joints.
Haunted things that make your joints fragile if you buy it. He bought a mirror that whenever you look in it, your joints get fragile and weak. So 2004, while he's waiting to play, I guess, he must be bored down there. You got to be bored. Sitting around, you're in college, hanging out, but you're not... doing anything except for getting arrested on what date is this? I believe April of 2004 here in Alachua County, Florida, for urinating in public.
Okay,
that's
party boy.
Yeah, he's out partying and you got to piss and who knows? I mean, that's what happens when you're drinking in the street.
Yeah, I do understand how brutal that law is because sometimes
it happens.
You just gotta go, and nobody will let you use. Yeah,
it happens. It's one of
those. But
it
is really awful to stumble upon somebody pissing somewhere. That's the
terrible.
Worst.
Yeah, and we don't know the was he like down an alley trying to fucking like hide
trying to hide, right?
Or was he like right in front of the bar pissing on the sidewalk with his dick hanging out in front of people? Like we don't know.
No hands screaming, woo!
Yeah, swinging it around. Nobody get near. The sprinkler's on. Yeah. He's just swinging it.
His name, yeah.
So, we don't know the extent of it or how excited he was to be doing it. But either way.
That's got to be the only thing that we do as a people that... the two different people have entirely different experiences and neither relates to the other. Like the guy pissing and somebody stumbling upon it, you never understand.
No, they wish
you never go, I get it, man.
Well, they wish you wouldn't have stumbled upon it, and you wish you wouldn't have stumbled upon it either. So it's one thing you're simpatico about is we both wish this wasn't happening right now. We really both wish this was not occurring.
But neither understands the other one's reaction.
No.
Ever.
And we never understand why it smells like that. That's the other thing. What are you doing? Why does it smell like that?
Why does beer smell like that? I don't know, man. It was just an emergency. I'm so sorry.
I couldn't help it. So 2005, he's finally on the team and playing and, everything like that on the roster. So that year, the Florida Gators go 9-3, and they they go to the Outback Bowl. Oh boy, yay!
Yeah.
No
it's
rules,
a good one.
No rules, just right, Jimmy. That's what we're doing here. They finished 12th in the AP poll altogether, and they win the Outback Bowl 31-24 against Iowa. So
awesome,
yeah, terrific. And from that came nothing because they finished. It was just like the 12th team playing the 15th ranked team. So who gives a shit is what it was. So there you go. That year, though, he plays in 8 games, which is weird because they played 11. So I don't know where he was for the other 3. Yeah. He had 6 solo tackles, 2 assist tackles, a total of 8 tackles here. So 1 sack. Not really doing much.
It's not a lot of numbers, yeah.
I don't think he plays very much. I think he's a backup. I think he's a reserve at this point. Florida was really good then also. So to crack this roster, you had to be, I mean, they got every blue chip Florida prospect in the state. So, you weren't just going in and they couldn't wait to have you there. You were on line behind 4 other guys when you got there.
Is this the Tebow team? It is, right?
We'll talk about it in a second here. So after the 8th game, that's why he played less games, because I forgot about this, because after 8 games, he hurts himself, and he's out the rest of the season.
Jesus.
So he doesn't get to play in the bowl game. And he says, before he hurts his knee, quote, "I'm not going to lie, I was considering going pro. I figured we could win the SEC and I could do great things for the team. Then hopefully I could leave early and be a top 10 draft pick." So he wanted to play 1 year, because that would still be 3 years out of high school and all that, so he could play because he's been out. This is his 4th year out of high school, so that's the NFL would take him at that point, so he could go for the draft. But he, with a knee injury and only playing in 8 games and having 6 tackles, it's not really a whole lot you can do.
Has he been known as a liar lately? Why qualify?
Look, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I was considering going. Well, I think they were asking him about his aspirations in football and shit like that, and he was like, "Listen, I'd have been out of this motherfucker. I'm not even going to." It was probably a university thing, like somebody asking him there, and he's like, "Listen, I was going to blow this shithole. Don't get me wrong, but I decided to stay." So his doctor here, he needed operations on both his knees.
Fuck.
Yeah. He fucked up a knee and then continued to play on it.
No.
And then fucked up his other knee because he was putting too much pressure on it, trying to nurse the other one. So
worst sport in the world to play injured.
It's terrible, especially your knees. Knees are terrible to fucking do anything injured with, because, I mean, you really need your knees, especially if you're a defensive lineman and you're pushing on guys in the offensive line on a run play. You need your fucking knees.
Yeah, constant leverage pushed on your knees.
And your explosiveness coming off on pass rushes, too. So anyway, the doctor ended up repairing one of the knees just after Thanksgiving, and then waiting till after the holidays, till like the first week of January, to fix the other one. So he wouldn't have both knees fucked up. He could still walk on a crutch and limp on one and whatever. And
otherwise you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah, well, then while the other one's healing, he could do that. So he said he was really scared. He was he thought he was done. He'd never been injured like this before. You hurt an elbow, you're like, fuck it, that'll be fine. That's just a wing. Even if it's a little off, I'm not a quarterback. Who gives a shit? I can still tackle.
Yeah,
but you hurt a knee. That's psychological.
Yeah,
so it happens so much in basketball too, a lot, and in football, where when a guy blows out a knee or something like that, they really it's so hard for them to come back, because it's a psychological thing to put all of your weight on it, land on it, spring off of it, cut off of it, everything like that. You're testing it and you're worried, and so guys, a lot of times they'll end up getting hurt because they're playing
babying it. Yeah,
they're babying it. They're playing scared, and they end up getting hurt that way. I always hear that in the NFL. If you're not playing 100%, like 100 miles an hour, you're going to get hurt.
Trusting your body is everything.
You're much more likely to not get hurt by throwing yourself into it. But if you're in the middle of it, you're going to get. It's like being in traffic and not being in a car. Like you're just getting, you're going to get run over. So it's bad. Anyway, Ray said, quote, "I was worried. I was like, can I ever play football again? Will I be back the way I was? Am I going to be so fast?"
Probably not.
He considers himself so fast, right? I'm so fast.
Will I be so fast?
I need to be so fast, not just fast. So 2006, he's post-surgery trying to come back here. And the athletic trainer, Anthony Pass, and he had a physical trainer named Susan Tillman, and they nicknamed him the Bionic Man.
Yeah.
Because
original.
They would spend 15 hours a week with him, and he would, to rehab his shit here, he would do 5-day-a-week, 7 a.m. sessions. So every day he's there at 7 a.m., and the trainer said there were days at the beginning of rehab when he needed to be pushed along. You could tell he didn't want to be there, but he got tough. I wouldn't want to be there either. That sounds awful. Yeah. They said that, he would lift weights and do all of this shit. And The only thing he's worried about is getting hit for the first time because he rehabs his knee doing all the exercises, and he's like, I can spring, I can jump, I can fucking do all the things that my knee can do. He goes, but no one's hit it yet. No one's haven't had an offensive lineman roll into it on the side of it or anything like that.
That's really what it is. It's the awkward angle contact.
Shot blocking and things like that.
Right. That's where the test comes.
And so he's like, that's where he's a little worried. He said, it's in my head for a brief minute, but I know I can't think about that. I'm not worried about who's going to hit my knee or if I'm going to get twisted up. I've got to be an athlete. I've got to play. So they got to tell him to just forget about that here. They said, though, he's got a lot going on. His dad, Ray McDonald Sr., said, quote, he's a junior. I forgot all about that. Ray McDonald,
he is.
fucking junior. Yeah, we forgot about another junior. Jesus Christ almighty. Why did I not say junior at the beginning?
I don't know.
Ray McDonald Jr., everybody.
There you go.
Proper introduction for him.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
So his dad said, I'm very nervous. I'm anxious. I keep telling him that I don't want him to rush it, but he knows when he's ready. Only he can make that decision. So he's ready to go. His defensive coordinator at Florida said he's cleared the physical hurdle, but what happens when he gets chopped? What happens when somebody rolls up on him? That's the part we don't know. Mm-hmm. So, but for his brave comeback and his amazing workout and all of his efforts, they name him one of the team captains that year.
Really?
Absolutely. So they name him a team captain. He's played 8 total games. He's been there for 14 years. He's pissed on a side of a bar, and he's a team captain.
And several surgeries.
He has 6 tackles under his belt. Team captain. Yeah. There we go. 6 surgeries. Yeah. More surgeries than, a similar amount of surgeries to tackles.
Yes.
And, a urination charge. So he's
his
named
contributions to the team are just as numerous as the times doctors have cut on him.
No shit. So 2006, this team is 13-1. So they crush it this year, and they go all the way to the BCS championship game, the national championship game against Ohio State that year.
Okay.
And they crush them 41-14. Florida crushes Ohio State, and they win the national championship, number 1 in the polls. And Ray says it's going to be gone tomorrow, so I have to enjoy it today. He said the afterglow, the whole feeling of elation. But this is Tim Tebow's freshman year.
Right.
This is his first year here. They had Chris Leak, who played in 14 games. Was their main guy. And then Tebow played in like a game or two, but he was like the anointed next guy. So this year, though, 14 games for Ray McDonald, 36 total tackles, 4.5 sacks. So
there you go.
Not bad. Good year for him. And also he causes a couple fumbles. He recovers a fumble, and he even gets a touchdown. So
great.
Yeah, shows himself, and that gives you some attention. You have to be on some highlights to get noticed a lot. So he makes the first team all Southeastern Conference. So there you go.
Because of that fumble recovery touchdown. That'll do it.
And if you're on the national championship team, I'm sure it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. That's how they saw it.
That's how I mean, everyone's watching that game, every NFL scout. So they're going to look at all the players real closely there. So after this year, he still has college eligibility left, but he decides to put himself into the NFL draft. He's been seen as
baby.
Declare yourself. So 2007 NFL draft, Jimmy, number 1 pick.
2007?
7.
Holy shit. Was it Tomlinson?
No. That was like 2002, 2001.
Oh, Jesus. Was he there? Okay.
Yeah.
It was a quarterback.
Same year as Drew Brees got picked was Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Same round.
Oh, shit. This is... No, I don't know.
A terrible quarterback. There's your hint.
What?
Terrible.
Shit.
Terrible. Embarrassing.
Pennington?
No, Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, God, that big fat bastard. He was number 1.
Big gut, number 1. I just read this recently that his coordinators, his offensive coaches, because they didn't think he watched the films, because quarterbacks, they give you a bunch of tapes to watch when you go home. You're supposed to do homework all night. They used to give him tapes and be like, watch these blitz packages from this team we're playing, and so you can see the pickups and all that.
Right.
So he'd come in the next day and he'd be like, I get the blitz packages. I watched the whole thing. And they were like, oh, good. They gave him blank tapes. There's nothing on the tapes. He'd be like, I saw them. I watched them. Yeah, they're totally, I get it. They're easy.
I know what to watch for.
And you wonder why he's fucking terrible.
Those were snow, Jamarcus.
Yep. That's why his career numbers are 18 touchdowns, 23 picks. Not good. For a number 1 pick of all. That's crazy.
Couldn't get out of his own way.
No, he played for I think he was there for 3 seasons, total. That's all he played.
How much money did that man make?
A shitload.
I need to know that.
Oh, I think it was a crazy number. It was, $35 million guaranteed or something. God. And then being there huge money. I mean, tens of millions of dollars. I
guess you just play for that and just be like, I don't care about the Hall of Fame. I never have to work again.
I mean, if you look at it in terms of just being a normal person, you go, who gives a fuck? I'm not a great NFL quarterback either. I'd love to have $35 million. Who gives a shit if I'm a great NFL quarterback? What do I
don't
care?
even like football.
Yeah. I mean, you win in life. He retires at 25 years old with $40 million I'd say you win, right?
That's a winner. Yeah.
If you got a job at some fucking company as the CEO and you did a terrible job and they shit canned you but gave you a $40 million golden parachute at 25, you'd be like, that guy's a tech genius. He's a fucking people will call you an entrepreneurial genius, and there would be articles about you because you're rich and young.
That's Jamarcus Russell.
This guy, we're like, oh, you fat fuck.
You fat piece of shit, ruined my team. Who cares?
Yeah.
Be happy for him. You'd love to be him.
The sad part is the number 2 pick, because Oakland picked him number 1, and it was a bad run for them. And then the number 2 pick, who they obviously didn't pick for Jamarcus instead, was Hall of Fame receiver Calvin Johnson. So you passed up one of the greatest receivers in the history of the fucking mankind. That guy was incredible. He was amazing, and he quit when he was still amazing. He was just like, I don't feel like it anymore.
And Oakland at the time certainly needed a receiver just as bad as they needed a quarterback.
Everybody could have used Calvin Johnson. Yeah. Everybody could have used the best receiver in the league at the time. I don't think there's a guy, any team that didn't need him,
2 of the best offensive weapons in the history of the NFL died on the vine in Detroit.
Oh, absolutely. They quit before their time. He only played until 2015. He could have played.
Right.
Jerry Rice played for fucking 20 years because he played on good teams for the most part.
Unreal.
When you suck, you just don't have the motivation. Barry did the same thing. If I have to play for the Lions, I might as well quit. Fuck it.
If I have to play for this team one more season.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he was 30. He could have played. He could have broke the rushing record with ease. And no thanks. Never mind. Fuck this team.
Why would I do that?
God. Also that year drafted number 7 was Adrian Peterson. So there's that. He's had some issues that we
I
could
believe
talk
he
about.
just retired.
I think so. Yeah, that's how long it's fucking been for him. Yeah, it was 2021 he played till. It says here way longer than anybody else in the first round.
Yeah.
Oh, Ted Ginn Jr. played till 2020, the wide receiver too.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wild. So finally, third round comes around, and not a lot going on in the third round. Guys like let's see here, guys like Yaman Figures. Figures, yeah. Yaman Figures. Who else is here? A guy named Aykroyd, I think, got drafted, so maybe Dan's kid. I'm not sure.
Let's give him a chance.
Yeah. Trent Edwards, the Buffalo quarterback who sucked. And then finally, number 97 overall in the third round, San Francisco 49ers pick Ray McDonald. So he is picked up right then, and he's so excited.
Yeah.
He's so excited that right away, pretty much within, a month of this, in June, he gets, in April or May, so it's right after that, he gets a pretty good speeding ticket here, 15 to 19 mile an hour. It was a 70 mile an hour. He was going like fucking 88 and a 70.
Yeah.
He's trying to go back in time. What do you want from the guy? Who cares? Who do we care about that? I don't care.
I want to go back in time before this all was dominated by tech communities.
Yeah.
he's in California.
This was in Osceola County, Florida. So maybe
Florida?
he was fleeing Florida at a high rate of speed to get the fuck out of there as fast as he could to get
Trying
somewhere
to get
else.
San Francisco.
Yeah. So the Niners don't care about that. It's just a speeding ticket. I just brought it up because it happened, so why not?
Yeah.
2007, the 49ers, not a great team here. This is pre-Jim Harbaugh. This is the Mike Nolan 49ers. He coached them. They're 5-11 this year.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear their list of quarterbacks who all started at least a game here?
Stop it.
Several? 4 quarterbacks all started games. One started 6, one started 7, 1 2, and 1 1 game. And would you like to hear who they are?
I know one of them is the guy that got injured. What was his name?
Alex Smith.
Yes, Alex Smith.
Alex Smith started 7 games and went 2-5 in those 7 games with 1 touchdown and 4 picks. Or 2 touchdowns, 4 picks, so that's not great. Trent Dilfer started 6 of those games. He was 35 at the time, so an aging Trent Dilfer came in and went 1-5 with a 51.6% completion percentage, 7 touchdowns, 12 picks.
Wow,
Not
13
good.
weeks and they've got 3 wins.
Not good. And then Sean Hill came in here, and he started 2 games. He won both the games. Had a 68.4% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick, but for some reason that maybe he finished out the season. And then Chris Wenke, the old Florida State guy, who's also 35, but he was like 30 when he came into the league, though. Chris Wenke,
Really?
Yeah, because he played baseball and he played minor league baseball, I want to say. Then he went back to college and played football and then won a national championship and then got drafted in football. So he had like 2 careers. Yeah, he was old.
I didn't know.
Anyway, he started 1 game and had 1 touchdown, no picks. So Dilfer, Smith, Hill, Wenke is the
Hill went somewhere after that, right? I think. Did he become the starting quarterback? He was somewhere else, right?
Somewhere else, yeah. He was a journeyman, I think. He bounced around. He's one of those second stringers. So now our guy here, Ray McDonald, he plays in 9 games, starts no games, but he's a rookie. So.
Yeah.
He's a rookie and a 3rd-round pick, so it's not like we're paying him, get him out there. It's ease him in. So he has 1 sack, not bad. Okay. That's okay. The Niners are 5-11 though, so no one gives a shit what him or anyone else on that fucking team is doing.
That is brutal, man.
That's bad. The next year, Mike Nolan gets fired after 7 games. The head coach, they're 2-5. And they shit can him and bring in Mike Singletary, who, if you paid any attention to football, you know how that worked out. That didn't work out well.
So heartbreaking.
That was. I wanted Singletary to be so good at that so badly, and it just didn't quite work out that way. So it wasn't.
You'd think that if anybody can get his best players to give their best effort, it's going to be Mike fucking Singletary. That's the most likable man on the planet that's involved in football.
A lot of guys, though, I've heard too. Like a lot of even the old Bears, he wasn't the most popular guy on.
Really?
Yeah, he was. He wasn't the most. I don't know why, but he was never considered like a Steve McMichael or something that everybody loved, or like a what's his name? The fucking well, obviously Walter Payton, but like fucking like Willie Gault, everybody loved, and guys like that. But Dan Hampton
as a fan favorite, and these are kids who should have been fans of him.
Richard Dent, those guys.
Yeah. In the locker room, that's a different thing, I guess.
Yeah, totally different. On the field, he's fucking unreal.
Oh my god,
he's such a good
so
middle linebacker.
Yeah,
and controlled everything well. But yeah, for some reason,
can't control a locker room.
Apparently not. Didn't do too well at it. Well, he does. He goes 5-4 for the rest of his time with the Niners that year, so that's okay. He now Ray starts 9 games, plays in 15 games, so they're trusting him a little bit more. He has 27 tackles and 1 sack, so I mean, not bad. He's easing in there. He's a left defensive end that year. 2009, Mike Singletary all the way at coach. They go 8-8 this year.
Yeah.
Which is better than 5-11, so that's not bad. And this is when he was doing these press conferences, and
it was heartbreaking.
It was Jesus Christ. It was hard
humbling
to watch.
a man who his whole football career was all ego and like, you know what I mean?
Hard to watch
it was
that.
in your face shit, and watching that man damn near cry is not easy.
It was just strange.
Yeah.
People were like, "You're the coach, bro. Calm down.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? This isn't like you're a little too. What the fuck,
why
man?
in your feelings, man?
I mean, but then again, Dick Vermeil would cry, but he cried like when they won the Super Bowl and shit. Like you can cry if you win this. If you win the Super Bowl, you can take your cock out, and people are like, "Well, they just won the Super Bowl." I mean, Jesus, I don't know. Your mind gets crazy, I guess.
There's been a few coaches that have cried.
I'd like to know what you could get away with legally on the field right after you just won the Super Bowl. Like right after when the confetti's still falling. Like you could pretty much probably get away with anything and they would be like, he was overwhelmed by the moment. And it would
up to and including anything that's consensual. As long as it's consensual, I think everybody's on board.
Absolutely. Like I think you could not that I'm saying anyone should do this, but you could probably get away with, a guy could probably get away with like doing like that fucking VJ Day shit where the guy just walked up to the sailor coming home. When we won World War II, the parade, there's the picture of that guy dipping that chick that he never met before and kissing. You could probably get away with that as the confetti falls.
Yeah.
Once the trophy comes out on the field, it's over with, though. You can't do that anymore. But you could probably not.
You've had
a
minute to process, yeah.
You should never. No unwanted advances, please. But I'm just saying, legally, they'd probably, in court, you'd get arrested, but in court, they'd be like, he was overwhelmed, Your Honor. And they would probably. So the next year, 2009, they're 8-8. He doesn't start any games. He plays all 16 and starts 0 for Ray. So Ray is not really getting into the whole groove
not a
here.
Cog. Yeah.
No, not really. He has 3 sacks though, so that's nice. Okay. And he has 2 fumble recoveries, which is a big deal because he gets a touchdown on one of them. So an 11-yard touchdown return. So good for him.
Yeah.
He's making himself known a little bit. 2010 comes around. Before the season, he gets a little more well-known in the Bay Area. Because he's a third-round draft pick who started 3 games in his 3 years he's been here, so he's not really that well-known of a guy. June 12th, 2010, on my birthday, thank you, Ray, for giving me a nice birthday present, he is driving on Interstate 280. He's driving 94 miles an hour in his black BMW.
He is moving.
That's pretty fast. And they also pull him over and smell alcohol on his breath.
Stop that.
Oh, yeah. He's alone in the car. He's this is at 6 p.m., by the way. This isn't
94 miles an hour, 6 p.m. in crowded-ass traffic of Northern California.
Booze on your breath.
Wow.
Not cool. So he's given a sobriety test, and he is arrested on suspicion of DUI. The crazy part is, publicly, I could never, ever, ever, ever find what his blood alcohol level was in the end. They never released it publicly. They always just said it hasn't been released publicly in every fucking article. Never found it. So the Niners have a lot of pull here with this shit. As we'll find out, the Niners I know their helmets are gold, but they are one of the silverest teams. When you take that gold helmet off, a silver mane falls down because they're they defend the fuck out of this guy for years. It's crazy. When they finally have to part ways with him, it's like, well, duh, Jesus Christ. You fucking anyway. So he's arrested, and he said he's very upset about it, and he's very sorry.
Yeah.
He says, my intent is just to come out here and work hard and try to win ball games this year. And I don't want this to be a distraction for the fans, for my family, and my teammates.
Yeah, but how drunk were you?
How shit-faced were you at 6 o'clock in traffic driving 95 miles an hour exactly?
Rush hour traffic, man.
You can't be drunk driving in rush hour traffic.
6 p.m.? You can't. No,
that's crazy.
God, no.
No, if you're anyone who's out at 2 a.m. knows what's up. They know if you see a car, give them a wide fucking berth because you don't know how drunk that person is. That's how I am.
It smells like in there. Yeah.
Yep, that's how I am in the middle of the night. I see anybody, I back off. I fucking get out of the way. Go ahead and pass me, asshole. I don't care. I'm not getting plowed into by some drunk asshole who fell asleep.
Also, rather you're ahead of me than behind me.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
That's how it is. I'm going to keep an eye on you. I don't know if you're going to plow into me from behind or what. So the 49ers, on the other hand, they said that McDonald told them immediately about it, which I was in the fucking newspaper the next day. So I would assume because it was in the San Francisco Chronicle or whatever the next day, they probably knew about it. Anyway.
Also, it's rush hour traffic. You better tell them.
That's the other thing.
Get out ahead of this surprise.
One of the executives saw it happen probably. He was on his way home. He's on his phone with his wife going, you'll never believe this. Our defensive tackle's getting pulled over right now. So they say, this is the statement from the team here, quote, we take these issues very seriously. When the team starts out with that sentence, it usually means, but we're not going to do shit about it as the next part of it. That's what this means. And he said,
what a waste of words.
The next line is, but we will reserve. This is the same as him going, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
Why'd you say that? Just say it.
Why'd you start with that?
But we will reserve further comment at this time as this is an ongoing legal matter. The 49ers will continue to gather the facts and monitor the developments closely. Mm-hmm. In other words, we're going to forget about it for now and hope that you do the same. And then, 2 years from now, people will go, what happened? I don't remember that. And we won't care.
They don't start with, I'm not going to lie, because they're about to lie.
They're definitely going to lie. So this is the year that Singletary stuff happened here. And I don't even remember what happened. Like, I remember I being like on his side for a while, and then it got weird, and I don't remember what the fuck happened.
Well, there was some distrust in the locker room. Something.
The players didn't like him. I remember the players didn't like him was a big deal. They revolted against him. It imploded
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he had like a fucking meltdown, and he was talking about it was crazy. So anyway, Mike Singletary goes 5-10 this year, and he's fired before the last week of the season, and replaced with Jim Tomsula, which I think was one of his coaches, I believe, one of his defensive coaches, maybe. So they go 6-10 this year, so not great for this team. He plays in 16 games. Ray does, starts 0,
not a one,
and not 1, 0 sacks, 19 total tackles. So basically. Just barely doing shit.
Yeah.
So what they do is the next year, because he's been such an integral cog in the team here. I mean, they couldn't do it without him, really, Jimmy. They sign him to a contract extension.
Really?
This might be one of these things where he benefits from being under fired coaches over the last few years because they can say one of the things they didn't like is they never gave this guy a chance.
Right.
And we think he's better than Mike Singletary gave him credit for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he can even, say that with the team too, and it will help him. They sign him to a 5-year, $20 million contract extension.
$20 million. He's done nothing but get arrested.
7 of the $20 million guaranteed.
Holy shit.
So
happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday. Yeah, what the fuck is that? Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. That
is the epitome of what you were just talking about earlier, the failure upwards.
Failure upwards, yeah. You've done well in this role as like a special teamer, put you in, so you must be a starter. We're going to pay you up to that, and I'm sure you'll do great. That's what they do.
Unbelievable. He just got that CEO gig, and he's about to be found out?
He's
Maybe
like, okay, yeah. Ooh, we'll find out what happens here. So I'm going to say this, though. Grace. This is certainly grace, right?
That's a hell of a payday.
It's a good payday for a guy who has started 9 games in 4 years and has 5 total sacks in 4 years.
And they gave him a contract that puts him beyond that pension. He's set. He's so set.
He's set, and he gets $7 million guaranteed. That's a check cut up front to you. I mean, that's guaranteed money right there. So that's okay. No, even if he gets cut tomorrow, he's at least got $7 million or whatever after taxes. So definitely grace. Right after this happens, this must be what he does to celebrate. Whenever something good happens to him, he gets busted for speeding. That's what it is. After the draft, he gets busted. So right after they re-sign him, like within a few weeks of this, he what is it? Yeah, the 7th of April here. He is ticketed for unlawful speeding again on an interstate. So he does that again, 70 miles an hour. He's going super fast here. Also, side windows too tinted, Jimmy.
Well,
God
I got
forbid.
$20 million. I can't let people see me.
God forbid your windows are too tinted. That is the dumbest fucking law I've ever seen. Why do you need to see into my car? You don't.
It's literally,
you fucking don't. How about that?
It's literally a safety thing for cops for when they pull people over. That
I understand.
That's
for when they pull it over. But you know what? Don't fucking pull me over then. How's that? There's the other option.
Scared of your job?
Don't fucking pull me over if you're. It's fucking. I get it. I get that. But it's also illegal. Fucking shooting a cop. So that should be the deterrent, not the fact that my windows are down and he might be able to see me. Because no matter what, if your windows are down, if you're sitting there with a gun on your lap and a cop comes to the window, you're going to shoot him whether your windows are perfectly clear or tinted black. It doesn't fucking matter.
And it's also a safety thing because at night
you can see how many people are in the car, shit like that. I get.
No, like when people are driving, when they back up or whatever, they can't see things because their window's too dark and they hit things. So it's a safety thing for the driver can't see shit.
That's
and
again
the cop
another
can't
issue.
See, right. Another thing is that if you can't operate a fucking car, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have a license.
That's
and
the
also
thing.
if you're gonna shoot a cop, then you're probably gonna go to jail for that too. Let's not worry about the black windows.
I'm saying that the
blacked
tints
out windows
aren't the problem.
It's so great to have no sunlight come through the fucking car.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's wonderful and it's ridiculous. For like New York has like the craziest. It's like 10% tint, or you can have 20. It's nothing basically. You can burn in the sun if it's sunny out. It's the worst. It's why leave me the fuck alone in my car.
It should be a law in Phoenix to have them as dark as the fucking tint can possibly make it because it's so hot for
so
safety's
hot.
sake of children in the back seat. Just make it hot or make it dark.
It should be child abuse if you don't have black windows back there and you have children in the car. Like,
you should go to jail and lose custody if you don't have fucking 10% light allowed through it.
You're burning your child like an ant with a magnifying glass. There's smoke coming off your toddler. This isn't good. So I hate that though, the tint thing. It just always bothers me. Like it's
a
just
silly law.
A reason to fucking
fuck with people.
Because I remember as a kid, kids would have tints and they put them on, and then we get pulled over, and it was just a reason to pull us out of the car and see if we had weed on us. That's all it was. The reason to search the car. So that annoys me still to this day.
What do you need us to not look in there for? What are you doing in there? None of your fucking business.
None of your
business. Why it's
dark. Nothing. Not hurting anyone. How's that? Leave me the fuck alone.
Trying to keep my air conditioner air that's coming out of the dash not hot when it comes out of the dash.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it cool.
The fucked up part is there's a Venn diagram where people who hate cops, people who love cops, people who are cops, people who whatever, all feel the same way about this. With like the window tinting is like, you ain't gonna tell me how to tint my fucking windows. And then there's people like saying you're violating my rights by being able to see in my car. Those people agree on this issue. That's
agree.
How many issues do those people agree on? It's my right, and how dare you look at my window? How often do those two groups come together? I think this is an issue. We're bringing the country together right now under the issue of tinted windows.
Will unite us all.
The far
window
left,
tint is
the far right. They're gonna come together on window tinting. Everyone in the middle's like, yeah, great. If we can get them to agree on anything, we'll agree with it. So if we can get those two groups together, if we can get. I don't care. I want to see.
Window tint is our lower Manhattan.
Let's do it. I want it. I want it right now.
North Tower, South Tower, window tint, same thing.
Window tints. We're going to do it.
Never forget 9/11. Never forget window tint.
Window tints. So I think that's one of the things. So anyway, you get some tickets for that. 2011, he's with the Niners. This year, Jim Harbaugh comes in as the coach, and it's a completely different story now. Completely different story. They go 13-3 this year.
Oh.
Flip the script like nothing. But they were on the come up, and then they kind of dip back down again, and now they're obviously.
What year is this?
2011.
Oh, this is the Super Bowl year, right?
No. This is the playoffs, though.
Okay.
They beat the Saints 36-32 in the divisional round of the playoffs, and then in the NFC Championship game, they lose 20-17 to the Giants that year.
Oh, that's the helmet catch win. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is fucking, man, the Giants. We'll go 9-7 and then win the Super Bowl somehow. Oh, okay. That's great. Fucking frustrating
on
team
impossible things.
Yeah, we'll break your heart, and then we'll do one good play and we'll win the games. What an annoying team they are to be a fan of.
Thanks a lot, Strahan, you son of a bitch.
You never know when we're going to be mediocre and win it all. It could happen. Like, great, thanks. I mean, it's fine to win Super Bowls, but it's never like, yeah, we're good this year. It's like, well, we started out 0-4. That wasn't good. And then it's just kind of, we pieced it together.
Yeah.
Made the playoffs because other people are worse, and then here we are.
We Frankensteined this season together.
That's what they do. I think both times they won the Super Bowl in 7 and 11, they were 9-7 in wild cards. And
is that right?
Fucking beat New England. That's crazy. So anyway, that year, Ray starts all 15 games, though. They gave him all that fucking money. Now he's starting. That's what I mean.
All 15. There's 16, isn't there?
There was 15 games that he played in that he was available
he started
for.
all.
So he started all.
Okay.
Yeah. So not all of the team's games, but all of his games. He had 39 tackles and 5.5 sacks.
Not bad.
Not setting the world on fire, but you know,
is that $20 million?
That's what I mean. Well, for defensive linemen are fucking expensive. So
are they really?
I think for 5.5 sacks, $4 million a year is about right. I think for that. Yeah, I think that's what it costs now for the defensive line. They're almost as expensive as quarterbacks now. These fucking pass rushers. Either you throw the ball or stop the guy from throwing the ball, and you're golden.
Really, anybody that has multiple sacks, in my opinion, should make $1 million a sack at least for that season, because
there you go.
The sack is the. I can't say it enough. It's the most amazing thing in history of sports.
Everything is set up against you there. You have the whole plan and teams and coaches.
It's fucking incredible.
So also this year, he's arrested for an outstanding warrant on the 2010 DUI case. So it's still lingering.
And a warrant, so he didn't even take care of any of it.
No, he didn't go to court or didn't take care of something that obviously there's some loose end dangling in the breeze out the back of his car as it goes 95 miles an hour down the freeway.
It's hard to gather that ball of string with that kind of wind. You're right.
That's what I mean. It's so hard. It's just flapping back and forth. So anyway, he's arrested for that. So he's not real responsible, we'll say, but he hasn't done anything terrible. I know people with way worse driving records than this. I mean,
I've probably got it. I mean, apart from DUIs, I've got a pretty bad driving record.
I've never seen anyone get pulled over as much as you. Like, I've been in the car with you so many times when you get pulled over.
Like,
what are you doing?
Truly, we've had like 11 trips together, and I'm like 30% of those have been pulled over.
It's wild, man. It's fucking remarkable. It's crazy shit. So I get it.
Yeah.
I understand. So 2012.
But still, somehow, every time we have to drive somewhere, I go, I'll drive, and you go, okay.
Because I'm usually half asleep from working the night before and shit, so I'm like, you know what? I'm so tired, go for it. That way I can get stoned before we leave and relax, and that's what happens. And I'm like, oh, we're getting pulled over. Here we go.
Every time you've said, is that for us?
Every time. That's for us, isn't it? Is that for us? God damn it, it is. Son of a bitch.
And every time I go, no. Sure the fuck is.
You're better to deal with the cops than me, though.
That's
you
true.
are. You're better at it than me. I'm
pretty cheery about getting the ticket.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
And then we drive away and I go, that motherfucker.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. That fat fuck. That guy in Texas. Fat scumbag fuck.
Fat fucking jerk.
That was great.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
So, 2012, the Niners 11-4-1 that year.
Okay.
They had a tie mixed in there. Jim Harbaugh again. This year, they win in the divisional round of the playoffs. Wow, this is a fucking shootout. 45-31 against Green Bay.
Wow.
That's a hell of a game. That sounds like a shootout. Conference championship, the NFC championship game. They beat the Falcons. I forgot the Falcons were in a championship game in 2012.
Yeah.
Holy shit, 28-24. And then they go to the Super Bowl to play Baltimore. This was a weird game. Totally weird
bizarre.
game.
Yeah.
Bizarre game, and it ends up being 34-31 Baltimore. So they lose the Super Bowl by 3 points. Obviously heartbreaking for the whole.
So tough.
The whole team. And it really, maybe this is what sends Ray's life into a fucking complete tailspin, because within a year and a half, he is just a disaster. So he starts all 16 games this year.
Is that right? Has
2.5 sacks.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's not real good.
No.
It's not real good. And he's a left defensive end, so your tackles.
An edge rusher?
Yeah, your tackles can have 2.5 sacks because they're there to stop the run. I mean, you're there to stop the run too, but you're also there to put pressure on the quarterback from the end.
That's
spot.
your job.
So that's not great. That's not great. That's not $20 million worth right there. So 2013, the Niners go 12-4. This is they're fucking cooking here. They go 12-4. They go to the wild card round, beat Green Bay again, 23-20 this time. They had close.
They had their number 2 years in a row. That's got to be a stinger for Green Bay.
It happens all the time in football too. Or how many times did the Colts knock them out, this team, or the Ravens knock Pittsburgh out all the time? It's
Denver and New England and Denver and Indy every year. It was one of them was knocking them out. Yeah.
It was the same teams always there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh did it too.
Baltimore,
Yep.
Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Denver, Indy, New England.
Yep.
They were all
That's it.
And then who was going to be the other playoff team was all anybody was looking at, because they were always making it usually. So they beat Carolina 23-10 in the divisional round, because the first one was a wild card round. NFC Championship game, they lose to Seattle 23-17 that year.
Oh,
that was Seattle.
I hated that year.
Yeah, that was not a good fun year.
Why don't you just hand it to Marshawn? What are you doing?
Give it to Marshawn Lynch and lose it that way if you're going to lose it.
Oh.
Fucking dance with who fucking brung you here, my friends. What are we doing? What the fuck are you doing?
I love him so much. Let him run the fucking ball.
That's the time. That's why you have him for times like this. Let him go. So anyway, this year he 14 games. He plays in 14 games and starts all 14 that he plays in. Only 3.5 sacks, Jimmy.
Really?
This is not exactly what you're looking for sack-wise so far with him.
We thought you were somebody else, sir.
Yeah, he had 5.5 that one year, and that's his best year. And now he's had, a grand total of 6 in the 2 years since then. So
no good.
Not wonderful. And things get way worse for Ray McDonald here.
What happened?
Well, he meets a young lady that he really likes in July of 2013, before last season. And they date for about 6 months. And then in February of 2014, he gets engaged to this young lady.
Okay.
Her name is Kendra Scott. I'm sure he got down on one knee and, shouted his love from the rooftops and his feelings and how maybe he did it publicly. How do you think he did it, Jimmy? What's his proposal?
Did he do it from standing on the back of the fucking car at 112 going down the fucking freeway?
I'm the king of the world.
Yeah.
Please sit down and steer.
or did he do something hacky? Was it at the Olive Garden? Did he do something stupid shit?
Say, it came wrapped around a breadstick.
Yeah. Buried in some fucking molten cake.
That's what I was gonna say. Was it like at Applebee's with some fucking mixed in with some riblet appetizer or some shit?
Some white chocolate raspberry molten.
I don't know what's going on here, but either way, they get engaged in February of 2014. It is domestic bliss, obviously. Just wonderful. He's got $20 million coming in. He's got a nice fiance.
Yeah.
Things could not be better, Jimmy. Couldn't be better in February 2014. This quickly changes, though. And by May 25th, 2014, he is going to be in handcuffs over an incident here with his fiance.
With Kendra?
Oh, yeah. He's at his house. Okay. Now, these incidents, there is police reports out the ass for all this shit. Normally I got to get press accounts and I'll get stuff like that, court documents if it's a very serious case. But it's rare to be able to get police reports, without putting information, things that you can get them. But it's I'm not that organized to do that shit 6 months ahead of time. I don't know. I don't have a staff for. I'm not going to make Allison. I'm not going to make. Yeah, I don't know how to fuck. I'm not doing any of that. I'll look it up and, we'll make jokes about it. So anyway, fuck do you guys want from me here? I'm not a reporter. We've said this before. We're not journalists. We're not attorneys. We're not any of these shit things. We're two moron comedians.
Clerk of the King County Court. My name's James Petrogallo. You may have heard of me.
Yeah.
Crime and sports, small town murder.
You know all about it, don't you? Yeah, of course you do. Just set those aside for me, sweetheart. Just put them in a Manila and ship them on over if you could, eh? All right.
Let me ask you, have you had groundhog for breakfast?
Ooh, it's good. It's good. It's real good. I can make you some if you help me out with this little thing. Well, all you have to do is pay $12 and fill out a form. Well, I don't know how to do that, so how about some groundhog?
I'm not familiar.
Not familiar with
groundhog.
Any of these procedures. I didn't finish high school because I was I don't know how to do paperwork. That's what it was. It's what am I finishing for? College? I don't know how to fill that out. I don't know what they want from me. I'd look at it and go, that's a lot of questions. I don't know what I'm doing. And I just put it down. I don't know.
I don't know how to do book report paperwork. I'm not going to do case review paperwork. Not happening.
And I didn't have parents who cared about that shit, went to school and gave a shit about it, really. Right. So I couldn't be hey, how do you do this? I had to do an economics report, I remember, in high school, and I had no idea, there was reports we were supposed to do all the time, and I never did them, and I was I had to pass the class, so I'm all right, I got to do these reports. So a friend of mine took the class the year before.
The word report seems so foreign to you.
It really is. Whatever the fuck it was. So yeah. My friend had taken the course the year before, that class, and so I just got his paper from the year before, and I remember being stunned by how it was formatted and shit. I was like, wow, is that how you do it? Holy shit, this is incredible. This guy knows, wow, this is wild.
With Roman numerals and letters.
Oh, he's going to college. This is crazy. I have no idea what this. I'm just copying this shit and fucking pasting it.
You got a cover page and a glossary for a report?
I just banked on the teacher wasn't going to remember it from last year, and he didn't. He had 7 classes.
This shit. He's going to college. You don't think the teacher was impressed?
No, because I guess a lot of kids knew to do that shit. I just didn't know how to format things, and so he didn't remember the fucking report. Who cares?
Shit either.
No, that's why we're here. And like I've said, if I knew how life would work out, I would have done even less in high school because I didn't need it. I really didn't. I would have stopped going to math in like the 9th grade. I'm a comedian. I have no need for math at all, like other than basic shit. I don't really need it at all. So anyway, he's at his house, and this is May 24th going into the 25th, and he calls police, Ray calls the police, stating that Kendra Scott had a gun. Okay. Oh. At the time, he denied that she ever pointed it at him or fired it at all. But at the time, he said he just wanted her removed from the home. Now, the 49ers security director called 911 around this time because McDonald called him instead of the cops. Okay. When he called the security director, he called him and said, "Hey, my girlfriend just fired the gun in the house."
Oh, shit.
Which is much different than the police were told.
Yeah.
So the no charges ever come from this in the end, but it takes months till they all figure it out here. Basically, during the investigation, they talked about whether she fired the gun or not, but she said that she was threatened by him. There was a big thing of whether. And in the police report, they really talked about, she's like 5'3", 100 pounds. He's 6'4", 280 pounds. She was scared of him. There's some aggression. She had a gun, and they all decided let's just let bygones be bygones and not talk about this or report this really, or not report it, but not like. No one ends up really in any deep legal shit over this, but he ends up being taken out in cuffs, though.
But a neighbor did not call, you know what I mean? So nobody heard that. So she must have fired that gun with gusto and like gangster energy. Otherwise, you don't call the police and ask it. You know what I mean?
No.
A 5'0" woman like accidentally firing it and being like, "Oh my God," like the panic, you know what I mean? She fired that and was like, "Fuck," she had
maybe.
to.
Or she let off a fucking errant shot into the ceiling or something. We have no idea, but rather than call the cops, he called the guy from the 49ers.
Oh, he didn't call the cops?
No, he didn't call the cops. The cops are called by the head of security for the 49ers.
Got it, yeah.
He called work and said, "Hi. Hi, work.
Can you help?
My wife just bucked a shot off in my kitchen."
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Well, we have to call the cops about that, stupid. That's a gunplay. You could get killed over this." So he called the cops. The cops came, and this is how this came out. But imagine if you called your job. Everyone out there, imagine your significant other fires a shot off in your house, and your first call is to your job.
Right.
Hi. What a weird fucking thing to do. So it gets worse, though, and it escalates because August 34th, 2014 is a motherfucking disaster.
August what day?
August 30th. Sorry, it starts on the 30th here. They've lived together almost since they started dating. So it's been about 11 months now they've lived together. They live in his home in San Jose. It's just the two of them. And at this moment, congrats to the happy couple. She's 10 weeks pregnant, Kendra.
Oh, dear God.
She's just found out she's pregnant. She's very excited. And for some reason, on August 30th, 2014, Ray throws himself a birthday party at the house. His birthday's, is it August 30th? Yes, I think it is.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it might be. Okay. So anyway, he throws himself a birthday party at his house. So people start showing up about as early as like 3:00. It's really it's a big old party
thing. Yeah.
All day, all night, big old party.
Summer, it's a pool party. This is great. Yeah.
Oh, it's a good time.
It's the last hurrah of the year, really.
You know he's got a nice house.
Yeah.
The season's about to start too, so it's got to get serious now. Training camp's over. It's party time, and a lot of his teammates are there and shit like that. Now, a lot of the people said that they left before midnight, which some people would. There's two groups. There's a group that stays till the bitter end of a party, and then there, drinks the whatever booze is left at the bottom of an ashtray. They sift out the fucking butts and they drink it. And then there's the people at like 11 o'clock. They're like, "I did my time. Okay, I think we can get out of here without looking like assholes now. Bye." Right?
Yeah.
We don't look like non-social dicks, do we?
Yeah.
No, 11. 11's good, I think, right? Yeah.
Sun's been down for hours. We can go now, right?
We can say we got to let the dogs out. We got to do something with the kids. We have to fucking, there's a lot. All right, we got excuses. All right, good deal. So, but many of the guests still remained, enough to generate a noise complaint at 1:58 a.m. from a neighbor.
2 a.m., they're still partying hard enough to piss people off.
11 hours later.
Oh, my.
That's the hardcore group. Yeah, when you sift out the Parliament light butts and chug whatever's in the bottom of that ashtray, you then have to go, whoa, afterwards. Don't you?
Damn right I did it.
Yeah, otherwise you'll just die. So the before and after the party, what was going on is, and this is what Ray's life is like here right now, he's at home, he's got his fiance, 10 weeks pregnant, got the whole deal. Birthday, people coming over all day. And while this is happening, he's getting tons of texts from women he met the night before.
Oh, no.
So there's all these texts going on, and he is fucking, trying to figure this out. He doesn't want them to come over because they're like, we're going to come over. You're having a party. And he's like, no.
Don't do that.
Then they start saying, we're already here. And they start sending him texts like talking about what outfit he's wearing and shit. And he's like, oh, God, Jesus, this is going to be bad.
Why did you just met him? Why do they know where you live already?
Who knows, man? This is a fucking mess. Who knows if they know some people that know him and they were told where the party was. Oh, yeah, we met him the night before. He said he was having a party. We lost the address. You know how people are. You can get shit out of people. So for some reason during all of this, I don't know why this is always his first call. If I'm a guy in the NFL, I'm trying to hide any kind of shit I got going on. I'm trying to hide that from the team I play for as much as possible, right? That's work. Yeah. Try to keep your work away from this shit. He instead called the 49ers security director, right? Hey, me again. Yeah, remember my girlfriend? Now I got other problems. There's all these chicks trying to come over my house that want to fuck me, and my fiance's getting pissed off about it.
What do you want to bet after one of his DUIs, somebody at the Niners said, anything goes on, you call security. We'll take care of it. That's got to be what it is.
I was just going to say it has to be like team policy that you call us first and we'll try to get you the fuck out of it, okay?
We'll fix it, and if we can't fix it, then we'll figure it out.
Let's not jump to 911 conclusions here.
It's got to be.
We'll tell you if you need 911 or if anyone needs it. So this guy, the 49ers head of security or security director, connects him with Sergeant Sean Pritchard, who is a sworn peace officer employed by the San Jose Police Department. I don't know what the fuck that means.
That's a cop.
That's a sworn peace. Yeah, that's a cop, I guess. So
that's just a cop.
But why do they describe him like that?
I don't know.
It's very specific. I guess this is from a police report, so they have to say exactly who he is.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now, McDonald tells Pritchard that he is afraid that the women he's been texting have actually shown up because one of them sent a text message describing what he was wearing. So he's like, yo.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
I think these bitches are in my house. Can you help me, basically,
I got
here?
Spies.
This is not good. So Sergeant Pritchard said he responded to the McDonald resident 2 separate times to address this issue that night. Dude, I have other shit to do. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Some cop had to go to his house twice because he's got some chicks there that he met at the club the night before, and he's not quite sure if they're going to... What are you talking about? This is a personal problem, bro. This isn't a fucking police affair. What are you doing?
Has there been any threat to anybody's personal safety apart from them?
Am I here? Yeah.
Texting you creepy shit?
Yeah. Well, do you want them removed from the premises? Great. We'll do that the first time. Do I have to be here again? What are we here
Point
twice
them out.
for?
I'll handle it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so weird. So apparently only Ray McDonald and Sergeant Pritchard knew anything about this issue. None of the guests knew what was going on. Sergeant Pritchard didn't call this into the dispatch, didn't say he was doing this. This was all just an off-the-record kind of, hey, I'm going to go do some shit on my lunch break type of thing here. That's
very
why
handled by the team thing. Yeah.
This is silver. This is so silver. We'll take care of it. This is 2014.
Wow.
We hear about this shit in the 80s and we're like, oh God, imagine if they did that now. Yeah. They did that now. This is crazy. This just happened.
Imagine if they did that now. They did that now.
They did that right now.
They do that.
They do
every
that
day.
and did that. It's fucking disturbing. So anyway, they said that only they knew that. The guests who we talked about, these women, were identified and interviewed, and they left prior to what ends up happening later. They described there was nothing out of the ordinary occurring from what everybody said. They ended up leaving and everything was quiet. Sometime between 12:50 and 2:30 a.m., so this is getting into the
wee hours of the evening and morning.
You're not even drinking shit you like anymore. It's just whatever's still there. Like,
you're drinking something green.
Well, I don't like Goldschlager, but yeah. This is like in Mad Men when they're like, we have creme de menthe, and they're like, I don't know, I guess let's drink it, and they're just pounding
same thing, creme
de menthe.
That's what's left.
That's what we got. I don't know. So they one of the female guests at the party who knew McDonald left after that. Sometime in this time period, 12:50 and 3 a.m. By this time, Kendra, his fiance, is upstairs sleeping. She had gone to bed early. I don't know if she's pregnant. I don't know if she's got morning sickness. Who knows? So anyway, this female guest, stopped by Kendra's room on her way out of the place to say, hey, no, this is a friend of hers.
Oh, okay.
She's knocked on her door, said, hey, heads up. There's some women downstairs getting a little friendly with your fiance. So you might want to go down there and have a fucking, hey, what's up? Just go stand in the room for a minute and be like, hey, motherfucker, remember that I'm here.
Known.
Yeah. So she got right out of bed. Kendra springs out of bed, gets dressed, fucking marches down the stairs to where the hell are they at? Let's do this. So she sees a woman talking to Ray McDonald and walks up and asks her to step outside with her. Kendra does. You want to come outside with me for a minute? Yeah. So they, I guess, walked outside. I don't think it was to fight. I think she wanted to confront her, maybe fight eventually, but I think she wanted to confront her not in the middle of the party, I think was what was going on there.
Yeah, don't want to break anything of mine in here in case you get wild.
Yeah, I think, too, embarrassing and shit like that. There's famous people there. You don't want to fuck around. So McDonald, at this point, Ray becomes pissed off that Kendra's embarrassing him.
What is he, Italian?
Hey, why are you embarrassing me like this?
What?
You trying to make me look like a fucking jerk off in front of everybody I know. No, he's getting, this is ridiculous. Like, hey, this girl was hitting on me. You're embarrassing me. What are you talking about? You're getting hit on in your own kitchen, dummy. So he said he began to be concerned for Kendra's safety because of the aggressive manner in which she was speaking to the other woman, and because she was pregnant. So she's like, she's getting real aggressive with this other woman is his story, and she's pregnant, and I didn't want this other woman to whoop her ass, was the whole thing. She's tiny, pregnant, and mouthy is a bad trio to run.
And he's been shot at by her, so he knows that she's willing. You know what I mean? She'll go to the mat.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's thinking is she's aggressive in this woman's face here. So, which, I mean, this is worse have happened at parties. Why, and this happens when alcohol's involved for 10, 11 hours. This tends to happen. So Kendra enters the residence again and heads back upstairs. Okay, she comes back in and just marches past Ray, heads up the stairs.
Ray, peace, everybody knows I exist.
I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Ray follows her, saying shit to piss her off.
Oh, God.
He follows, why the fuck you got to do that, blah, blah, blah. Kendra said he called her names, indicated that she isn't going to be a good mother. She's going to be a terrible mother, and then threatened to take her baby from her at this point. That's not even born yet. So once that kid comes out, I'll take it because you're so unfit because you argued with a woman who was hitting on me in our kitchen is a really weak argument for a dude to make here. So
I think the judge is going to be on her side, sir.
Yeah. At some point in here, and we'll break into the details of it, at some point, both Kendra and Ray agree that she did hit him first. There's multiple hits going on. They both agree she hit him first. She said, though, she pushed him. It wasn't a hit. She said she pushed him, and then she said that he followed that up with multiple punches with a closed fist to her.
What?
That's her. Yeah, that's her. That's her deal here. He had no visible injuries or complaints of pain or anything like that. So she's a fucking defensive lineman that got pushed by a 5'3" girl. Like he's not gonna. He gets pushed harder than that 100 times a day at work, so it's not a lot. But I don't think she takes a lot of punches with a closed fist from a giant man. So
And at
this
5
isn't
foot,
good.
100 pounds and pregnant. I mean, being tossed pregnant right the fuck out the window. A 5 foot, 100-pound woman, you're going to punch
5'3",
her?
yeah, that's crazy.
It's nuts.
That's crazy. Yeah, you could walk away. Well, you followed her up the damn steps. I mean, this didn't even have to go down. You know, like this didn't have to happen. She didn't not like she jumped on your back and started punching you in the fucking top of the head or something, and you couldn't get away from her. She tried to walk away. So anyway, that's her claim. And then she also says that he grabbed her by her arm to restrain her, resulting in visible bruising on her arm. Yeah. And at some point, they ended up on the couch, okay? She says that he threw her onto the couch. He says that they were tussling and fell onto the couch together, which I don't see how. He's got balance, man. This is
also,
a guy.
He instigated this. The tussle, falling on the couch, it's not.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird. This is crazy. So he said that he tried to then, or this, I don't know, somebody said that he then tried to remove her physically from the home, tried to forcibly kick her out of the house at 2 in the morning.
Can't do that either.
No, she lives there, so that's not really good. So he does that. At one point, he grabbed her neck, resulting in bruising, and, he's a big fucking guy. She says she was, quote, fighting back and physically resisting his efforts to pull her out of the house. This is a mess. She said that she tried to push him off of her. She was able to free herself. He said that, and she said she pushed off and freed herself. His story is that he let her go. He let go of her. So she ran upstairs at that point. Now, this is the Sergeant Pritchard had already been there once to talk some women out of the house. Now Ray calls him back at 2:39 a.m. Hey, buddy.
Pritchard?
How you doing? Yeah. He says, quote, I need to get this female out of my house.
Oh, boy.
All right. Now Ray's calling Sergeant Pritchard at 2:39. Jane Doe, in the papers here, it's Kendra. She came out publicly and said who she was and did a big article about it. So it's okay to say who she is. She says that, or not she says, she called 911 at 2:41 a.m. So 2 minutes later, she's on the phone with 911. And her quote is, hello, I'd like to press for a domestic violence. My fiance, he's trying to pull me out of the house. He's drunk. I think he's calling the cops. He's trying to get me out. So that's what she says.
I think he's calling you too. Check line 2.
Yeah. So she's trying to get she needs to get her story out there, because if he calls and says she freaked out, get her out of the house, and they take her out, she's trying to get her anchor to it, which makes sense. So the officers who showed up in their report noted that he was calm and cooperative and not too intoxicated to hold a conversation.
Okay.
Drunk, but not falling over, slurring. Kendra was crying throughout her interview and also seemed to be crying in the 911 call. Later on, she told the responding officers that she did not want Ray to get arrested. She just wanted him to stop trying to kick her out of the house.
Yeah.
She was offered and declined medical attention because she didn't want to persist with the whole thing. Later that morning, at 8:47, she sent a text to him saying shit got way out of hand. So they have that. So the officers that are there, regardless of her wanting to press charges, she has bruises all over her, so they arrest Ray and determined probable cause exists to believe that he was the dominant aggressor and that his conduct had resulted in physical injury, clearly. So he's arrested for felony domestic violence. And, they said their policy in Santa Clara County, whenever an officer has probable cause to believe a felony has occurred, irrespective of whether the officer believes the offense may ultimately be prosecuted as a misdemeanor. That's their law. So they arrest him as that. So, Jesus Christ, he's arrested for inflicting injury on a spouse or cohabitant at 5:30 a.m. It's a fucking mess.
With pregnancy being the aggravator. Why isn't that not something that is in the laws?
It's in the police report. Here's the police report. This is from Officer Palacio. He says suspect McDonald had a gathering at his residence tonight with several people, including a female that he referred to as his, quote, ex-girlfriend, Kendra Scott, who's his current fiance, lives in the house, is pregnant with his child. That's the ex-girlfriend.
I mean, 20 minutes ago, fiance.
Yeah.
Today,
now,
ex-girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend. He stated they've been dating for about a year and 2 months, a year and 2 months since about July of last year. She's been living at his residence for about 9 months, and she's expecting what he thinks is his child with her. I'm quoting from here. Suspect McDonald clarified their relationship later in the interview as still being girlfriend and boyfriend, but the events that happened tonight made him change his mind about their relationship.
Yep.
Okay, Oprah, we don't need this in the police report. Tonight his girlfriend had come down from their bedroom upstairs after being shoulder tapped by a female at the party that another female was, quote, rubbing up on suspect McDonald.
Yeah.
She's rubbing up on him. You can just hear that woman tell her, this is a girl rubbing all up on him, and you can just hear
rubbing
it.
Up
That's
on your man.
I love it. Suspect McDonald, implying the unknown female was overly flirtatious with the suspect, in parentheses, in case anyone reading this doesn't know what rubbing up on means. That's amazing. Like it's slang. Suspect McDonald stated that his girlfriend confronted a random female that had no idea what was going on. Suspect McDonald told the victim to, quote, chill out and not cause any problems with anyone, as nothing actually happened. Both parties were in a verbal confrontation with each other. As words were exchanged between the parties, victim Scott suddenly began to, quote, swing at him with her closed hands more than 10 times. And she windmilled him.
Holy shit.
That's what he says. He put his open hand out to block her punches. He was able to grab the victim around her shoulder, and he threw her onto the couch next to the stairs and held her down briefly to stop her. He then tried to pick her up and take her outside the door, but he stopped shortly after she made a comment at him to stop. Later, he let her go, or after he let her go, she ran upstairs to their bedroom, and that's when he decided to call police before it escalated any further. During this physical altercation, he stated that he had unintentionally placed his hand around her neck area, but not to hurt her, only to gain control of her and to stop her from punching. Suspect McDonald claimed that he had called, quote, Niner Security, 49ers security, in the past on the victim for similar incidents. They don't have jurisdiction outside of the stadium, do they? Is the Niners security team allowed to just roam the Bay Area? And he's in San Jose. He's not even in San Francisco and fucking mete out justice. What's going on here? What's happening?
He called security because she went up to the bedroom and shut the door, and I'll bet you that's where the gun is. And he's had history with her with guns before. He's like, I'm not getting shot tonight. Shit.
Maybe. I don't know, man. This seems like, from when we get to the other witnesses, this really just seems like she got mad at him for fucking flirting with girls in their own house. Mm-hmm. Came downstairs, and he was like, oh, how dare you embarrass me in front of my friends down there, and started a fight. That's just, it seems pretty obvious. So
you should probably be embarrassed of yourself for everybody in the house knowing that your pregnant fiance is upstairs and you're flirting with chicks in front of everybody.
I don't think that's looked down upon in the NFL, though.
Yeah, maybe not, but amongst your closest friends.
I don't think his mom was there.
You know what? It's his birthday, James.
It's his birthday.
Sometimes you get a gift.
So, yeah. By the way, his mom is just as bad as he is, it seems like, with her bullshit. We'll get to that. But if she was there, she'd have taken his side anyway. So, blah, blah, blah. He had called Niner Security in the past on the victim for similar incidents. He further elaborated that the victim had actually pointed his own gun at him in a previous argument. When asked if any of the partygoers had witnessed tonight's incident, he stated that his friend DeMarcus Dobbs possibly witnessed the incident, but was unsure what his friend actually witnessed. He was at the house for a party because it was Ray's birthday. This is this guy. This is Dobbs here. Ray and his fiancée were downstairs in the living room talking. He kept walking back and forth from the bar area to the living room to check on Ray and ask him about how to work the music outside. Oh, drunk guy. How do you do your music? We got to change it. Oh, God, shut the fuck up. That's how you do it. Get out of my house.
Ray, it's on a remote control, and it says TV on the remote. I don't know. I'm trying to make music happen.
Where's input, Ray? Ray,
I was
where's
out there screaming,
button?
Siri, play Outcast. It doesn't recognize.
It won't do it. It must be just you.
I think it knows your voice only.
So he's asking for that. All of a sudden, Kendra approached some females that had entered the house. She got into a verbal argument with the females because she felt they had disrespected Ray.
Yeah.
I feel they disrespected her, not really Ray. He tried telling her to leave the females alone because they just got there and hadn't caused any trouble. He left the room several more times, but then returned to talk to Ray. This is the guy we're talking about, the Dobbs guy, to ask him how to connect the music outside again. He's like, I got other shit going on. Imagine this.
I'm just press the buttons, Ray. The windows are opening.
Your shades are coming down. Imagine this. You're fucking, I mean, just what a fucking dude. What a clueless person. There's like domestic violence going on, all this other shit. He's like, how do you work the music? Fuck, dude. I'm trying to drown out the sounds of women screaming. How do I do that?
I said, Siri, play Rosa Parks, and it's just now a documentary's playing. It's about Rosa Parks.
She doesn't rap good. He's just hammered. Rosa Parks, a hero, not a great rapper. Yeah, we can.
Andre's better, bitch.
So, Jesus, he keeps asking about the music. The last time he saw Ray and Kendra talking, they were both calm, is what Dobbs says. He felt Kendra blew things out of proportion. He felt like Ray was sitting in a corner most of the night, keeping to himself, trying to please Kendra and cater to people at the party. He felt like Kendra was in a mood and wanted people out of the house. Well, it was 2 a.m. and she's pregnant, so that's fair. He never heard
ruining my good time.
Yeah, it's over, dude. It's been 11 hours. That means it's over now. He never heard Ray raise his tone and never heard the two of them arguing, but he was in the room the entire time they were talking. He tried talking to Kendra, this is Dobbs, he tried talking to Kendra after the females left, but Kendra didn't want to talk to him. Yeah, your drunk friend who doesn't know how to work the music. Let me talk. This is working. It's okay. Hey, baby, come here. It's okay. Ray doesn't mean anything by what he said.
Hey, stop crying.
It's
stop
okay.
it.
Hey, do you know how to work the music outside? This is ridiculous.
I silly hit you. I'm so sorry. He's out of. Sometimes it'll calm him down. Show me how to do the music.
Oh, I'll turn it on.
Have you heard of the Isley Brothers? It'll be.
Good God.
We'll get it sexy time again.
We say it all the time. There is nothing funny about the domestic violence part of this, obviously, but this idiot going back and forth trying to intervene and get music on during an argument is ridiculous. It's fucking asinine.
Trying to calm down an assaulted pregnant woman, asking her how to operate the music.
It's fucking ridiculous.
What a dickhead.
Oh, man. So she left. Well, she didn't want to talk to him. She left the downstairs area and went upstairs to the bedroom. Ray went upstairs shortly thereafter to talk to her, but she didn't come out of the room and didn't talk to him. About 10 minutes later, he went upstairs to talk to Kendra, and she was already outside of the bedroom. They talked for a few minutes before she went back inside the room. At that point, Ray told him he was calling the police because Kendra said she was calling the police. So it was
this shit.
Yeah, I got to call the cops because she's called. The last thing he remembered, meaning Dobbs, was the two of them were talking calmly. Then Kendra locked Ray out of the bedroom and wouldn't talk to him. Yeah, that's what happens in fights. It's normal.
No
violence needs to come from that. Yeah. That's a thing that happens. So let's see here. This is, I believe, this is Kendra Scott's statement here that Scott and McDonald were hosting a party for his birthday. Later that evening, Scott decided to go to sleep upstairs in their room. While she was sleeping, a female came upstairs and woke her. This is the messing. Oh, yeah. The female told her that people were being disrespectful downstairs and that they were, quote, messing with McDonald. So, quote, messing and, quote, rubbing up on from two different reports. Let's see. Scott got out of bed and went downstairs to confront a female. McDonald became upset because Scott confronted the female and started, quote, drama. An argument between Scott and McDonald then initiated. The argument started off just verbally, but it escalated and became physical. Scott admitted during the argument she became frustrated and pushed him. McDonald then put his hands up as if he was going to defend himself. At that point, McDonald grabbed Scott by her arms, held her against the couch, applied pressure to her neck with his hand, then tried to get her out of the house. She was resisting, trying to fight back and telling him to stop. McDonald kept telling her to leave, and when she told him to stop, he let her go. She went upstairs to their room and contacted the police. She did not want to press charges. She just didn't know what to do and felt overwhelmed. They must have been trying to make things work with their relationship over the last couple months. A little editorializing on the police report. This is my opinion. I think they're trying to work it out. And okay, so weird. Scott does not understand.
I think if he takes her on a nice cruise, maybe she'll forget about the whole thing.
On the way out, I said, "You tried flowers, Ray? Maybe you ever try some flowers, just for no reason, once in a while. Just make her feel
just because it's
good.
Tuesday, Ray.
Just because you thought you were thinking about her. You ever do that, Ray? No, I didn't think so." Scott does not understand.
I have a book, you guys, for the two of you. It's called Love Languages. Give it a try.
Give it a look. I think you need it. Scott does understand that he wants her to leave, but she doesn't know where to go, doesn't know what to do or where to go, because she's lived there for 9 months and she's no idea here. So, here we go. This is back to another police report here. It's a guy. I arrived at 2:48 basically a.m. and was dispatched to the residence here. A disturbance, blah, blah, blah. Upon arrival, officers knocked at the front door of the residence, and a male, later identified as suspect Ray McDonald, opened the door. I contacted suspect McDonald by the front door and requested to get his statement regarding what had occurred at the residence tonight. I used my department-issued digital recorder and took the suspect's initial statement at the scene. The recording was uploaded, blah, blah, blah. I examined suspect McDonald's face, where he stated he was hit for any signs of cuts or injuries, but I could not find any, and he did not complain of any pain.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
So, there's that. This is Raymondo. I love that his name is Raymondo, by the way. One of the police reports here said there were numerous other individuals who were also present at the residence. I asked Scott, McDonald, and Dobbs whether they were aware of anyone else who may have witnessed the incident. Each of them told me that no one else had been present. Must be a big house to have all this going on and people not see it. Or everybody's out back waiting for music.
There you go.
It should be noted.
Silent backyard.
Yep. Where's the music? He's like, I'm asking. I don't know. There's cops here now. What the fuck? It should be noted that I asked McDonald this question prior to him being placed under arrest. During the time the officers were present at the residence, no one else identified themselves as having witnessed the incident. So, yeah, that made sense here. Now, it also says that in another police report here, the statements provided by both parties were very similar. However, McDonald did state that Scott was the initial aggressor and that she had, quote, punched him several times. He admitted grabbing her by the arms in order to avoid getting hit. At some point, he also grabbed her neck because he was trying to get her to stop. En route to lower booking, so this is in the car, on the police car on the way to the station, McDonald mentioned police had been to his residence a couple months prior to the above date and time. A firearm discharge had been reported at his residence, and police responded. According to McDonald, Scott got a hold of his registered gun on 5/25/14 and fired a round into the ground. So there we go.
Yep.
Bucked one into the ground.
Yep.
At the time of the incident, he told officers that they arrived on the scene when they arrived on the scene that nothing happened because he knew that would be in the paper a lot, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Girlfriend shot into the ground. So this comes out in the Sacramento Bee right away, and it's this blows up, man. This is
sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's pregnant, fiance, all these things adding up to bad shit here. He's 6'4", he's 300 pounds. It doesn't look very good here. At all. So there's articles too, and they're really, really quoting heavily from police reports, and it's a lot, man. I mean, it doesn't look good. They said that the other thing was they were saying Pritchard, the first two times Pritchard went to the house, he was on duty. But the third time he came to the house, because he went the first two times, then he came back at the end, it wasn't clear whether he was on duty or not, but he was in uniform.
Oh.
So he might have just stopped by to
see what kind of party this is.
Yes, Sergeant Pritchard, and it says, quote, Sergeant Pritchard was working for the 49ers and was while being paid by the citizens of San Jose. They said, but these remain issues that can be handled administratively. So the San Jose police had barred officers from working for the 49ers after this. So after this, you weren't allowed to get a job for the 49ers anymore.
Especially when you're on the clock.
No, they said this wasn't the first time 49ers security was involved in a problem between these two. So now it comes out that that's like team policy, and people don't like that. They talk about the May 24th incident with the gun, and they said that he called 49ers security director, and that guy called 911, and they had different stories about whether the girlfriend fired the gun or whether she didn't or not. The security director, when he was questioned about it later, said he couldn't recall McDonald's statement. He didn't know whether he said she fired or not. No shit.
I don't recall.
So Ray is released on a $25,000 bond.
Yeah.
There. He says this, quote, I can't say too much, not right now, but the truth will come out. Everybody knows the kind of person I am. I'm a good-hearted person.
Uh-huh.
So that's all going to be fine. They asked Jim Harbaugh, his head coach. Now the Niners are turning from gold to silver quickly. Yeah. He says, quote, this is Jim Harbaugh, quote, you ask me how I feel about domestic violence. I can be very clear about that. If someone physically abuses a woman and or physically or mentally abuses a child, then there's no understanding. There's no tolerance for that. None.
Okay.
Now, right before this, the NFL, Roger Goodell had just announced harsher penalties for all players involved in incidents of assault, battery, domestic violence, or sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
First-time offenders get suspended 6 games, and players who commit a second offense get banned for life from the league. That was their new deal there. The Niners general manager, though, said that the 49ers organization is aware of the recent reports regarding Ray McDonald, and we take matters very seriously. As we continue to gather the facts, we will reserve further comment. In other words, we're just going to chill the fuck out, sit here, and hope everyone forgets about this.
That policy by the NFL is wrought with reasons for teams to not report this shit. If the league gets rid of players after two offenses, we aren't saying
team
shit
security
unless it's on video.
Yep. Or they could actually be fucking follow the rules of the league and
get rid of people.
Get rid of people, but God, they're not going to do that. Not if they can get 2.5 sacks a year, Jimmy. Good God.
Not necessarily that, but Ben Roethlisberger is important to this team.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, man. So they talk about the complication here is the fact that this San Jose police officer was there instead of 911. He came directly and didn't officially put it through the official channels, and it really complicates everything.
Sure.
And to complicate things further, the week after this, 8 days later, September 8th, 2014, the Ray Rice video comes out.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
That's why you don't remember.
Yeah. Oh,
that's why you don't remember any of this. This
Yeah.
is what I mean. Ray Rice he became, because this Greg Hardy is right around this time, so all of his shit got downplayed too, even though what he did was fucking arguably way more monstrous than anybody else. Ray Rice is it looks brutal. It's terrible. It's a brutal attack, and it's on video. It's horrible.
And he literally waited till doors closed to knock a woman out.
And then drag her corpse
by the foot.
That was crazy, man. That was disturbing.
Unbelievable. He didn't know if she was alive or dead, and just
he didn't really care.
Drug her. Didn't give a fuck.
Taking this with me and just pulled her along. So, they release this. The video comes out, and it blows the fuck up. Anybody who was around, this time, you remember it blew up huge. It was Atlantic City. The whole incident with Ray Rice happened. And Ray Rice and his wife were both charged with assault in connection to that incident, by the way, which was, I guess she was hitting him first or whatever, so she got charged too. I don't know, it was crazy. So now the 49ers CEO says, hey, don't mix these together. He says, quote, each case is its own separate case. Ray McDonald is not Ray Rice. He's like, fuck, his name is Ray. Why does it have to be Ray?
Why does he gotta be a Ray?
Why does it have to be the tale of two Rays? We got, fuck my life. This is terrible. He said, as a society, we have a sense of saying, well, you didn't do it right with Ray Rice, so right away, so you need to overdo it with Ray McDonald or whoever else it is. And I don't believe that's the country we live in. I don't think that's a fair way to approach it. I will not punish somebody until we see evidence that it should be done or before an entire police investigation shows us something. Wow. That is a very... Whenever the silver-haired middle-aged white man says, I don't believe that's the country we live in, that's, it's just, you're so full of shit. Once anyone goes to, that's not the country we live in, they're full of shit. They've run out of things to say. They've run out of legitimate arguments, and they're starting off with, that's not the country we live in, because I don't know what else to say. That's a threat to you. That's not the country we live in. That could happen to you. It's like, no. It could happen to NFL players who beat the shit out of their pregnant girlfriends at 2 a.m. That's what happens to.
If Ray did punch her, if in fact he rained 10 blows upon her, what he did is arguably worse than what Ray Rice did because A, Kendra's pregnant, and B, just because Kendra can take a punch better doesn't mean that this is a lesser thing. You know what I mean? And C, he rained 10 upon her. Yeah. Ray Rice only hit her, what, 2? 1? 2,
I think it was
right?
one shot. I don't think it was
one.
one.
It may have been 2.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Either way, rained them upon a tiny pregnant woman.
In public.
Arguably worse.
It's terrible. So, Jesus Christ. A city official for San Francisco said McDonald should be held to the same standard as everyone else whose uniform bears the name San Francisco, saying that, if he worked for the city, he'd be on administrative leave right now, period. So he says, quote, the National Football League specifically, Major League Sports in general, and American culture must do more to stop domestic violence and protect the victims of abuse. Jim Harbaugh says, quote, well, you've seen there's a lot of public speculation and people weighing in with their opinion. So now he said speculation, opinion.
Jim.
He's lining it with these words. Yeah. Whether it's a public figure or people through social media, which there you go, it's another knockdown. Our response would be, we have 2 principles at play here, and one is respect for due process, and we're not going to flinch based on public speculation. I love that too. Yeah. I love when people wrap themselves in that's not the country we live in, and wrap themselves in due process. That's never a good sign.
Yeah. Wait, he'll have his day in court. Fuck you.
People out there listening, and you might say, oh, but that guy, yeah, it plays out. But think about you right now. Yeah. Things you've done.
Yeah.
Did you ever say, like, oh, we're going to play it out for due process? No. You know what you did. If you got, like, a DUI, you were like, I fucking drank and drove. That was stupid. And you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's a dumb shit thing that normal people would never say.
Right.
Ever. It's fucking ridiculous. So... all of them, the CEO, Jed York, Jim Harbaugh, the coach, the general manager, Trent Baalke, all said publicly they will let the legal process play out before deciding to sit McDonald or making any other choices about his future with the team. They all say that they have zero tolerance for domestic violence, but it has to be proven in a court of law for them to
as long as
believe it exists.
There's a conviction. I got zero tolerance.
Listen to the way this article plays out. Quote, the facts and the information, that's what we said from the beginning. Yes, said Harbaugh, who, like Baalke, has daughters. Oh, well, then he must care. He's got daughters, obviously, then he doesn't care about his... Yeah, I trust the process. The reason I'm not answering is I'm not inserting myself into the process one way or another. I think that's the right thing to do. Respect the legal process. Respect due process. The authorities are at work. We've been pretty clear on how we're going about this. Wow, that's tough. But it turns out November 2014, because Kendra is not... She won't cooperate with the prosecution because she didn't want him prosecuted to begin with.
Oh, Kendra.
So she won't cooperate. So November of 2014, they have to end up shit-canning the file, citing insufficient evidence because she wouldn't come forward. Wow. They said conflicting versions of the event, a lack of verifiable eyewitnesses, and a significant lack of cooperation from the victim. We cannot prove a crime occurred. In this particular case, there were particular pieces of information missing. So the 49ers triumphantly, obviously, due process, they said the issue of domestic violence is important to all of us, as it is throughout society. We have taken this allegation seriously, just as we have taken the principles of due process seriously. They love saying that. We have said from the beginning that we will consider the information available, allow the facts to lead our decisions, and respect the judicial process. Based on the information given to us and the district attorney's decision not to file charges, there will be no change in Ray's status with the team. So, yeah, there's that.
But we will have a very serious talk with him and tell him not to tell you about it.
Yeah, we will do that. So the DA basically said that Kendra never used the words choking, grabbing, punching, or anything of that nature during her interview. That was and then when the police attempted to interview her 2 days later and take photographs, she refused. She wouldn't talk to them, wouldn't take photographs. She was done with it. Yeah, she didn't want him in trouble. So, I mean, that happens a lot. So they said that both Jane Doe and McDonald agree that Jane Doe struck first from court documents here. So, that's how it goes. The DA said, quote, I'm confident in our decision. After a complete and thorough investigation, we and the San Jose Police Department interviewed many witnesses. We looked at recorded interviews and we heard the 911 call. There were key pieces of evidence that were missing. We really don't know what happened between the two parties. They said it boils down to, did a crime occur? There was insufficient evidence. Wow. So, yeah, he's going to get off on that pretty easily here. So Ray, he says this about it. He's got a couple of statements here that are wild. Okay, first of all, Ray says, quote, I appreciate the seriousness of the situation, and I understand and respect that law enforcement had a job to do, which is why I cooperated fully with their investigation from beginning to end. I am relieved that the DA's office has rightfully decided not to file charges, and I want to thank everyone who was supportive during this difficult time. So he also says that he and his fiancée are trying to fix their relationship, move forward as he resumes his football career. He's good now. Everything's fine. That said, We need to give him an in their own words on this shit, okay? All right, let's do this. This is fucking hilarious. So, in their own words, quote, I have no malice toward anyone. I feel like I'm a good guy, a teddy bear. I'm not the kind of guy to put a hand on a woman like that. I respect women, and the truth came out. It was weighing on me because a lot of things were being said about me that I just knew weren't true. I kept my mouth shut and I let the process play out. I want to move past it and focus on the game this week. My team has faith in me. My friends, family, coaches all know what kind of guy I am. We love each other. It was one of those things that happened and it got thrown into the public. That when it's out on the national stage, you have no choice but to learn from it. We don't want to put ourselves into any situations like that ever again.
Never again.
Never again, my friends, never again. He said they remain together, he and his fiancée, and are working to strengthen their relationship.
Great.
Terrific. 2014, he plays in 14 games, starts all 14, has 3 sacks. Mm-hmm. There you go, 3 sacks. So far, he has 19 and a half sacks in his entire career. That's what he's got going on. Now, December 17th, he plays in 14 games, mind you. Mid-December, he's got some problems here.
Uh-oh.
December 17th, something comes out that he is being investigated for a possible sexual assault.
What?
December 16th, 2014, 10:43 a.m., San Jose Police Department received a call from a local area hospital regarding a possible sexual assault victim who was receiving treatment. The officers responded, made contact with the adult female victim. The victim alleged she was possibly sexually assaulted a day prior. The investigation revealed that the alleged suspect was Ray McDonald. So, the San Jose Police Department's Sexual Assaults Investigations Unit was notified and responded to conduct a follow-up here. And based on preliminary investigation, they secure a search warrant and served it on his residence as well. Mm-hmm. So it's an active, ongoing investigation. Now, McDonald's mother, Labrina McDonald, is going to have a lot to say about all this shit. She's tired of people saying shit about her boy.
She's had enough.
She's not having it. This is my son, and I'm not going to let you talk any shit. She said that the allegation was laughable and not true. Because she's with her son when he's with like strange women at 2 a.m. all the time.
Allegations of sexual assault are laughable, Jay.
Laughable. Ha! Hilarious. She said that her son warned her not to talk to the media, but she told the paper anyway. There's no truth to any of that stuff.
Okay.
None of that bullshit. 49ers linebacker Dan Scutta, he said, you really just don't know what to believe, and I'm not getting mad at Ray. Obviously, you want him here with you, and you're a little upset that he's not here. I have no business getting upset with him for something that he may or may not have done. So the day all this comes out, the 49ers release him. They're like, okay, we can only say the words due process so many times before it really loses all of its fucking meaning at this point, right?
We used them all. We can't do it again.
Smoke. We're going to call fire at some point where this is crazy with you. It's enough here. They cited a pattern of behavior and off-field issues. The general manager, Trent Baalke, informed him of this release. He said, quote, after the recent allegations concerning Ray McDonald, we as an organization notified him and his agent that he will be terminated, released immediately, effective immediately. While this organization has a strong belief in due process and has demonstrated that over time, we really want to clarify due process.
Drive it home. I need you all to understand what we believe in.
Why are they called the 49ers? They should be called the San Francisco Due Processes. That's all they should be called. Lovers of due process. Wow. So
San Francisco Day in Court.
Day in court, babe. Has a strong belief in due process and demonstrated that over time, Ray's demonstrated a pattern of poor decision-making that has led to multiple distractions to this organization and this football team that can really no longer be tolerated.
None, yeah.
He said that the CEO and the coach, everybody was involved in the decision. He said, quote, we expect a lot from our players. Hold them accountable for their actions. This is a situation we can all learn from.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Then he also said, this is a team decision. This is not a league decision. This is us. We're good people.
We hold ourselves accountable. We don't need the league to watch over us.
No.
We'll handle it in-house.
We police ourselves. We're good people. Big teddy bears. So they asked him, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about Ray? And he said, like you would expect, extremely disappointed. We drafted Ray in the 3rd round. He's been an awful good football player and for the most part has been a tremendous asset to this organization and this community. He has made some poor decisions. He's aware of that. This is a case of being accountable for those decisions. So back to the case here. Like I said, they filed a search warrant and the cops investigated. There was 3 warrants filed in the Santa Clara Superior Court. And the woman told police that she was drinking at a friend's house in Almaden Valley before they took a cab to the Willow Den Bar. So they pre-gamed it a little, went to the Willow Den Bar, where she had 2 Belvedere vodka and sodas.
Wow.
A good taste in vodka. Yeah. That's good. The Belvedere's the good stuff. I like Grey Goose better, but that's fine. She felt dizzy and sick after her second drink, and her friends told her that they would get her home, but rather than take her home, they all went to Ray McDonald's house instead.
What?
Yeah, she felt dizzy and sick. So we don't know if somebody slipped something in her drink or if she just didn't eat or who knows. I mean, we don't know at this point. We don't know.
That's the thing about mixed drinks. When you have beers, you know how much booze you've taken in.
Yes.
With mixed drinks, you have no fucking idea how much is in there.
And people, if they're on empty stomachs, they react way different than, or somebody could have drugged her because, as we know, it is all too disgustingly common for, and people out there, if you're not like out all the time, we only know this from the road, but like you're out all the time, like that happens so often, it's really, really fucking and to this day.
I'm 100% disgusted. I'm disgusted with it happening. I cannot believe that there are people in this world that are willing to sleep with people in that condition. You're a fucking monster. An absolute monster.
You're this close to Jeffrey Dahmer at that point. He liked to fuck people when they weren't conscious also. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You're that close to Green River revisiting corpses. You're gross. A fucking monster.
It is gross.
I was horrified and terrified for not just me, not just my well-being and being around, what people were going to perceive of me being around somebody in that condition, but I was horrified for her
it was disturbing.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that's what it looks like.
It was disturbing. Yeah, this has happened on the road with somebody we know that somebody drugged them. We assume I'm not going to say who we assumed it was. Yeah, somebody, an employee of the bar.
It's very obvious who did it, and I'm grossed out.
But Jimmy and this other person got her to paramedics to come and everything like that, and so nobody.
She's safe.
She's safe and was fine, but it was dangerous though. So anyway, she said that this is what she said. She stated that they were drinking in a bar, which she described as being upstairs. Yeah. She remembered being out by the pool when she fell and hit her head on the ground. Jesus, that's dangerous. She stated that she woke up the next morning naked in bed with Ray McDonald.
Oh my God.
So a drunk girl with a head injury isn't somebody you should be humping on. She asked him what happened, and he told her that she was just tired, so he let her sleep in his bed.
Naked.
You took all your clothes off. I just let you take, you must have got, drinks on your shit. So later that morning, 49ers linebacker Aldon Smith shows up, who will 100% have an episode. He's worse than Ray McDonald. We'll have an episode on Aldon Smith. These two hung out together this morning.
Holy shit.
Wow. Aldon Smith shows up, and they buy some vodka and cranberry juice, and all three hang out and drink into the night. This is the young lady with the head injury who was told she was just tired, and Aldon Smith and Ray McDonald.
Holy shit.
The woman asked him again what happened the night before. Here's her statement. Quote, she decided to ask him, or the police report, she decided to ask him again what happened, and he told her they did have sex. She asked him why was he lying to her, and he said that he didn't want to get accused of something crazy like rape.
Well, that's what you did.
She wasn't conscious, bro.
I didn't want you to say I raped you when I raped you.
Yeah, I wanted to keep that to myself, you know what I mean? She said she had no recollection of having sex with him, and she said that she did not give him consent to have sex with her. Mm-hmm. So on December 16th, San Jose police got a call from a local hospital, like we said, and that's how that happened. So the police sergeant, at this point, the police said, hey, can you can you get him talking? Can you text him and get him talking on the text? So she said, sure. She texted him. So then the police sergeant took over the texting, pretending to be her.
Oh, he's good at it?
I guess so. So he's gonna get it out. This is an interrogation as the victim, which is crazy. I've never heard of this before. So we'll get to that in a second here. It's fucking wild. They said, I don't know what they thought he was going to say. Like, man, it was great to rape you last night or something. I don't know what they thought of his incriminating statement was going to be. But
but a seasoned 20-something-year veteran of the police department generally doesn't talk like a young woman. What I want to read those texts.
But they don't know each other well, so she doesn't know what he doesn't know what her rhythms are yet. So that's good. Like, you would know if someone wasn't Emily, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I would know if someone wasn't Sarah, but like. Yeah. If you met somebody yesterday, you wouldn't know how they talk on text.
That's a good point.
So I'll just do him and her as victim and Ray. Him, I found your watch. Her, I'm glad you found my watch. Did you find my top too? Him, I didn't find your top. Her, damn, thanks for having me over though. Him, do you want your watch? Her, yes please. No, throw it in the garbage. It's my watch. He says, want to come get it tomorrow. She says, yeah, I'm sure we can work something out, but hey, I meant to ask you yesterday if you wore a condom when we hooked up. He said, we'll talk about it when I see you tomorrow. How about I need to know this now so I can get, you know what I mean? There's a morning after pill and shit.
Right away.
She said, I need to know for sure because I need to know if I should take the morning after pill. No response. Then she says, you there? ? No response. Then she says, I'm at the store. I need to know if I should be buying the morning after pill. That's all her talking, okay? Then Sergeant Lombardo takes over. Oh, give me that phone for a minute. Hey, now hand it over here. Let me see what this fucking jerk-off thinks. All right, let me see. Let's see. I'm going to ask him to pick us up a couple of sandwiches. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
I'll tell him, bring the top, bring your watch over, and bring like an Italian combo, extra vinegar for me. What do you want? Like a tomato, mozzarella? What are you looking for over here? We're going to get some sandwiches. We're going to at least milk the guy for a couple of fucking some cold cuts.
Pretty rad. This is the one letter off of the trophy that he chases too.
Yeah. This here is Sergeant Lombardi. I'm calling you about not being good at football. I mean, yeah, that's right. You're not as good at football as you should be, asshole. You ever heard of that? Yeah. So he took over, posing as her. And he says, yes, get the morning after pill.
Gross, you son of a bitch.
She says, Sergeant Lombardo says, ugh, with a frowny face. Yeah. That's not cool. Which is not bad.
It's pretty spot on, too. P.S. That's pretty gross that you did that, sir.
Yeah. He said there's a redacted thing in here, but he said it just happened. We were enjoying the moment. We were just enjoying the moment.
Yikes.
So Sergeant Lombardo, I don't even remember anything. I don't know how I could have been enjoying anything. My fridge head hurts. Must have been like...
Friggin' head hurts.
Yeah, my fridge head hurts. What's your address? I'm going to have my friend drive me there. He says, I won't be home for a while. So, no, don't come over.
Don't come over.
Then she says, is there someone that can give me my stuff? Is there anybody there that can hand me my shit? He says, I'm going to get you your stuff. I can drop your watch off to you on my way home from work. Where do you want me to bring it? And then the sergeant says, quote, I'm just really bothered by all of this. I don't really want to see you right now. Why would you say then, how do I get it if you then say that? This guy's not good at this shit at all, Sergeant Lombardo.
Yeah.
He says, I'm just really bothered. I don't want to see you. He says, I don't understand why you're bothered. You chose to stay with me for another day.
Yeah.
Like you hung out and drank.
Lombardo's having a good time now.
Yeah. Well, then he says, quote, yeah, this is Lombardo. Yeah. Is he. Yeah, but you, just a you. That's old school texting. That's not. He's texting Lombardo. Like how kids texted in 2002.
When they had to press a shitload of buttons to get a letter out.
Yeah. Yeah, but you shouldn't, I guess, should have. Oh, you should have, but it probably shouldn't have misspelled. Should have had sex with me after I was knocked out. I could have died. Are you an expert on head injuries now? The more I think about it, the madder I get. But don't worry, I'm not going to say anything. Then Lombardo says, I meant that you should not have had sex. Stupid autocorrect.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Rape is spelled this way. I apologize. Fucking autocorrect. It hates rape. He then says, I didn't do anything wrong. Like you told me before you started coming on to me. And then he says, like you told me before. I don't know where the I is there, but then she says, how can I come on to you if I was drunk and woozy from hitting my head? You know better than that. So then I think he's like, hey, you know what I mean? Hey, what's she doing? Is she trying to get text proof?
Yeah, Trying to get some confirmation in words and writing from me? What are you doing?
So he just says, because you did. That's his next thing. She says, a real gentleman would know that you don't take advantage of a woman when they are like that. I thought you were a nice guy. Guess I was wrong. He then says, okay, so now it seems like you're trying to set me up. Listen, you stayed with me all day yesterday, so I don't know what point you're trying to make by saying all this stuff. So then Sargent says, the only point I'm making is I didn't think it was cool. I'm not trying to set you up. I just have a raging headache and things didn't go the way I wanted them to.
Yeah.
He
I'm
says,
standing in CVS buying fucking Plan B, thanks to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So then Ray says, quote, I felt like we had a real connection and we actually like each other.
What?
What is the connection? You like to drink and I like to fuck passed out women? Is that the connection we have? This is crazy.
We couldn't even have a conversation.
Man, she then says, I don't know, maybe we need to start over. I just feel like everything is a blur and now I'm tripping on maybe being pregnant. He says, quote, you won't be if you take the pill. It's up to 48 hours. I meant 72. He knows this real well. He's like, listen, I have read so many backs of these packages. It's not even fucking funny.
I've done this a lot.
A lot of them end up on my bedroom floor, like in my master fucking bathroom garbage can, things like that. I know how
right
this
next
works.
to a bunch of watches.
So, all of this shit. Now, the Deadspin reporter here, Diana Moskovitz, said, I've worked as a crime reporter, and I've rarely seen police use this tactic for a sexual assault investigation involving two adults. This is usually for when minors are involved. You do this. But whatever. Alden Smith, who's also part of the story,
oh boy,
she told police that the day after the incident here, that Smith came over to the residence to hang out and drink all day. In the warrant, it says, quote, stated she was alone with Ray McDonald until one of his friends showed up by the name of Alden Smith. She stated the three of them went to the store, bought some vodka and cranberry juice, and had started drinking again at his house and remained there until that night. Now, the problem is that they also say about his previous domestic violence, he noted he didn't want to be accused of rape. It was at this time the alleged victim says that he revealed that he had sex with her. So the thing is, Alden Smith isn't supposed to be drinking. He's gotten multiple trouble for drinking and has made a big deal about saying how sober he is to everybody, including the team.
Oh, Alden.
That's the issue there. The team says, quote, we're certainly going to look into it. In this situation, I think there are different situations, and we treat each situation differently, but yet we're certainly going to look into it. In other words, if you'll just forget about it for now, we'll be back later. So they said they're looking into the possibility that Alden Smith was drinking alcohol, and they said that he said before the season he's sober. They said he's been passing all of his tests and everything like that. Yeah, and that he's not allowed to drink alcohol per terms of his 3-year probation agreement with the law.
Holy shit.
So this isn't even about the team. This is about the law.
Right.
I didn't know. I knew it was a rule. I didn't know it was a law. What's going on here? So in the midst of all this, March 24th, 2015, the Chicago Bears sign Ray McDonald.
How the fuck?
Can you fucking imagine that?
How
they signed him.
Wow.
The George McCaskey said he consulted with Virginia McCaskey, who's like 104. She doesn't know what's going on. And received her blessing before signing on. He says, quote, I was impressed with how sincere he was and how motivated he is. He understands, I think, that he could have well been facing the end of his football career, and he loves football, and he wants his career to continue. So I was impressed with his motivation. Wow. Then he goes on to say, he said, if you want, you can talk to my college coach, Urban Meyer, my position coach from college. And after talking to him, I said, I think I'd like to talk to your parents. And you need to be careful putting too much stock in that. What would you expect a parent to say about an adult child? But the thing that impressed me after talking to him was the support system. They go to almost all of his games, even the out-of-town games. If only they were there at 2 a.m. Gee, that's... they're there for him. He came from a strong two-parent upbringing, which is sad to say isn't all that common anymore these days. And even discounting what a parent had to say, I came away impressed with the support system that he has. So, the very next day after they sign him, 4 days later, March 28, 2015, he has a problem with his dogs, Jimmy.
What happened to them?
He has Cane Corsos, which is a Benny dog.
Boy, that is a giant dog. How many does he have?
Two. And they're both 115 pounds, so they're smaller than Benny.
One's enough.
They're smaller than Benny. And as you know from Benny, one thing about Benny is he is just a sweet, big teddy bear dog.
Yeah.
You would have to really do a lot to get him to
hurt anybody. Yeah.
Hurt anybody. Like, he just isn't interested in that at all. He's a sweet. The other one will kill you, but Benny's a sweet boy.
His playing oftentimes could be confused with him wanting to hurt you. He doesn't want to.
No,
but him dislocate your fucking knee.
Oh, yeah, him throwing his 140 pounds in you. He's taking my legs out, just boom, and I'm up in the air and on the ground because it's like a tackle. You can't help it. He's so strong. So, but they're sweet dogs, Cane Corsos. They're very sweet. That's the one thing that they are. His dog, though, has a couple of problems. He's got two of them, Brutus and Tank. So, Brutus and Tank. Now, the dogs, I guess, in 2014, they had bitten somebody, and this is Brutus is the main perpetrator here. It was on bite quarantine, I guess.
Wow.
So now he's got to have a dangerous dog hearing to find out if Brutus is a dangerous dog. Now, if he's a dangerous dog, they don't put him down, but you're required to have extra insurance. You're required to there's a bunch.
Document that motherfucker.
You have to document that you're keeping them in your yard, and you have a security, a system for that. So here's the narrative from a police report here. Approximately 7:30 in the morning, I was dispatched to a call where two dogs were loose and one had bitten a passerby. Sergeant Jenkins and I responded to the call, and both dogs were confined at the time of our arrival. Sergeant Jenkins made contact with the dog owner, Ray McDonald, and seized the dog for shelter quarantine and a dangerous dog hearing. I then made contact with the victim and his family at their home. He stated that he and his wife were just leaving the address for their morning walk and were charged by a large black dog and a large fawn-colored dog. When the fawn dog, Brutus, a male Cane Corso, bit him, he then went inside his home and called the police. His son-in-law, who was the reporting party of the call, took a photo and videos of the dogs loose and barking in his yard. They said he had a large laceration on the webbing between his thumb and forefinger on his left hand, which was bleeding profusely, and he had a trail of blood and all that kind of shit here, and had to go to the hospital and everything. So now Ray basically said, I don't know what the fuck. He goes, I don't know how they got out. That was his statement with the whole thing. I have no fucking idea. They said the Brutus just jumped up and tried to bite the guy's leg, and he put his hand by his leg, and then that's what got bitten. And the guy had gloves on, but the teeth went through the gloves.
Wow. That makes sense.
Dude, those dogs, their jaw strength it's like a wild animal. It's like a fucking half a lion. It's crazy. They can crush your femur with their fucking jaw strength. They're insanely strong jaws.
That's a lantilicum.
They really are. It's the good thing they're sweet dogs because they could fucking kill you in a minute. They're really scary, but they're sweet as shit. I mean, good God. Benny's so sweet. Sweet boy. So, they ended up, I guess Tank didn't do it. Tank was being a good boy, I guess. But Brutus
is the bastard.
Brutus, not such a good boy. But, I mean, they let him out. You can't let a dog out wild. He might have thought, this is my yard now, and that's you. I mean, you know,
and it also depends on
he's a dog.
how he's instructed that dog on what his job is, too. If you instructed that dog to be a watchdog and trained him to be such, you have to treat him as such and take precautions as such, because otherwise that dog's going to fucking hurt somebody.
you have to. Yeah, it's one thing if you have a dog like that, you have to know how to keep it together.
Yeah,
like
you're certainly allowed to have them.
Frankie can't go out without a leash. We know that because she will maul somebody and kill them. So she always is tied up. Benny doesn't need a leash because if he sees something and you go, Benny, get over here. He's like, oh, okay, never mind. And he comes back by you. He won't go anywhere. He's like Yellow Dog. He's not running away. He's not running after anybody. So they asked Ray how his dogs were able to run at large, and he stated that although there were 2 large gates and they are secure, he believed the gate to the street was intentionally opened by an unknown person. He thinks somebody let his dogs out on purpose. Yeah, I'm going to let these giant dogs out and then run away. He came to that conclusion because, as he represented, his home had been burglarized and believed one of the persons responsible probably returned and opened the gate for later, one of those things to get back in. He said the dogs have been trained by Kelly Canine Dog Training, and that occurred at his home and at the dog training facility. When asked what dog trainer said when told about the incidents, he was told his dogs need more socialization to get used to people. His dogs, given their breed, are very protective, and stated that he intends to intensify the training of both dogs.
Sure.
So, yeah, they put Brutus in and all this type of shit. He's a fucking mess, man. He's just a disaster.
Yeah.
He's getting the dogs trained. He's sitting and he's watching them. You know, he's like, wow, look at this. I got to get my life together, man. This is too much. It's just too much. And then he's watching this pack of dogs, and they're all being obedient and listening. And then behind him, though, he hears some other dogs barking. Some other days, like, what is that? And then out of nowhere, popping up before him, it's Bobby Colorado, animal trainer from Fredericksburg, Texas. And he says, how is it you come to arrive here? What the fuck is wrong? Hey, you know how many fucking people I've talked to so far? I know a lot of jerk-offs like you. And I always tell them, maybe you should get a dog. It could be good for you. You're the first one I'm going to go, I don't think you should have these fucking dogs. I don't think you're responsible enough for these fucking dogs. You yourself are a fucking menace on the loose. Like, you need to be secured in an area. You know what I'm saying?
You should be on a leash.
So the tree is together. I don't know how you're going to, you're going to let them out. They're going to let you out. You're going to be on the run. I don't understand this, but I can't fucking have this anymore. I'm going to take your dogs and bring them with me. I think I could take care of them better, but you're a fucking jerk off. I don't like you. That restaurant over there, the fucking veal parmesan's beautiful, though. You should try that out. I got to give them a plug. That's not their fault. You're an asshole. So anyway, I got to go and buy, and poof, in a poof of dog shit and marinara sauce and veal parmesan. Ray's very confused, and his dog problem is solved. Fuck. Bobby's probably like, fucking, I had to keep Vince McMahon at bay. You know how bad he wanted to see you without your shirt on? Holy shit. He said, Bobby, bring these overalls. You know how he talks. I don't know. He said, bring these. I said, get the fuck out of here with these overalls. I got to talk to this guy. So, May 25th, 2015. Everything is all resolved by now. The dog thing is getting taken care of.
Yeah.
The rape charges have been dropped.
Wow.
The witness decides she does not want to, or the victim decides she doesn't want any part of it. She just wants it to be over with. She doesn't want to testify, doesn't want to do all that. So they drop the charges there.
Damn it.
No charges for the August thing either. They decide later on. So May 25th, 2015. So here. So it's a year after the other one. Here's from the police report. This is May 25th at 3:48 a.m. So that's always a good sign. When officers arrived, they were met by the shaking and crying victim, Kendra Scott, holding her 2-month-old son. Hey, their kid's born. Isn't that nice? Officers noted that the dining room furniture in the residence was knocked over and that the interior door appeared to have been broken. The victim told officers that Ray McDonald, her former fiancé and father of the child, had assaulted her that evening. The officer noted the victim is 5'7", 120 pounds, though. She's
tiny.
Skinny.
Yeah.
McDonald is 6'4" and weighs 280 pounds. The victim said she'd been sleeping in the residence with her son around 3 o'clock in the morning when McDonald tried to enter the bedroom. The victim did not open the door, which was locked due to the fact that McDonald had been drinking and she feared for her safety. Didn't want him around the baby, whatever. So McDonald, she told, mothers get very protective when they have a 2-month-old baby around. Your jerk-off ass isn't as important now anymore. They don't care about you anymore. They're worried about protecting this life that just came out of them. Your drunk ass can sleep it off on the couch.
Right. It's called maternal instincts. Paternal instincts don't technically exist.
No, not really. That's a myth.
That's a very weird thing that doesn't exist. Maternal instincts absolutely exist.
Yeah, I shot this out of my vagina, and now I have oxytocin. Get away from me. That's what that is. So... apparently, she feared for her safety. McDonald, she told the officers, had violently assaulted her multiple times in the past while he was intoxicated. The victim said she did not report those past incidents because she felt they could work out their problems and that criminal charges would jeopardize McDonald's career as a professional football player. Yeah. Due to these incidents of domestic violence, the two reportedly had an agreement that McDonald would not stay at the residence when he'd been drinking alcohol. Wow. He knows he can't. Wow.
Get a hotel.
The victim said McDonald broke open the bedroom door. It was apparent to the victim that McDonald had consumed alcohol. An argument ensued. It carried from the bedroom area into the dining room area. McDonald cornered the victim in the dining room area, trapping her. Still holding the baby behind the table, he called the victim, quote, a bitch and a whore, quote, end quote. McDonald postured by sticking out his chest while staring at the victim. The victim believed McDonald was trying to intimidate her. The victim was afraid because of McDonald's past violent behavior while drinking. The victim began videotaping the event with her cell phone.
Oh, boy.
This video is available, by the way.
What?
Oh, it's out there. Yeah, absolutely. The video was reviewed by officers. McDonald's driver can be heard imploring McDonald to leave the victim alone. The victim can be heard crying and repeatedly saying to McDonald, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" That's what she does. And McDonald tells both his driver and her to, quote, shut the fuck up in this video.
Oh, boy.
The driver can even be seen reaching for Ray's arm and saying quietly, "Let's go, man, let's go," where McDonald then pulls his arm away and says, quote, "Don't fucking touch me."
These are all drunk phrases.
Wow. Twice the victim attempts to walk from behind the table. McDonald moves toward her and the victim retreats. The driver places his body between McDonald and the victim. McDonald accuses the victim of smothering the baby. Saying you're smothering her. The driver can be heard saying gently, "No, she's not, man. No, she's not. It's cool." Yeah. He's just trying to get him out of the house.
Let's roll.
McDonald then lunges at her, and the driver can be heard yelling, "Ray, Ray, fuck, dude, don't do this." Yeah. And her scream can be heard from the video, which then abruptly ends. Yeah. This is a terrifying video. It really is. According to her, to Kendra, McDonald chased her into the bathroom area after that. She turned her back on McDonald in an effort to shield the baby. McDonald tried to grab her phone, and in doing so, caused the victim to repeatedly bump into the bathroom wall, still holding the baby. She said her arm shielded the baby from hitting the wall, though. God. Now, the altercation continued into the bedroom. She's got a baby in her fucking hand. Dude.
Why are we still doing this?
She's got a baby in her hand. It's making me uncomfortable. Not that all of this isn't, but I'm worried about 10 different things right now and fucking stressing me out. So continuing in the bedroom, McDonald yelled profanities while using his finger to jab at the head of the victim. Oh, God. Her, not the baby, Kendra, who had been forced into a seated position on the bed, still holding the baby. The victim rolled over on her back to try to get away from McDonald. McDonald then tried to pull the victim off the bed while she's holding the baby.
What the fuck, man?
Finally, the driver convinced McDonald to leave, after which the Kendra called a relative. The relative immediately called emergency dispatch. As the officers interviewed the victim, McDonald's vehicle was seen returning to the residence, then abruptly driving away at a high rate of speed. Oh, shit, Popo. Go. Step on it. The officers followed but could not catch up with the speeding vehicle. Yeah, because it took them a minute to go get in the car. They didn't know where the fuck he went. A sergeant then contacted McDonald by phone. McDonald refused to return to the scene or to speak with officers. Mm-hmm. San Jose police officers later located McDonald at a residence on Terra Nova Lane in San Jose. Around 7 a.m., he's arrested and served with an emergency protective order, granting whatever. McDonald said that he understood the terms of the order and everything like that. So then when it was told it was domestic violence, because he asked an officer what he's being charged with, the officer said domestic violence, and he immediately said, look, that bitch made me mad, man. The bitch made me mad.
Okay.
That's not an excuse
No.
for domestic violence. Okay, that's like if a cop's walking into a situation and they're like, we hear somebody hit somebody, and he's like, the bitch made me mad, man. You're in cuffs in a half a second.
Yeah.
That means you hit her. That's what that is. That's an excuse for that.
That's not the diffuser with police either. They don't go, oh, okay, well.
Oh, okay. Well, he made. Hey guys, everybody, pack it in. She made him mad, guys. She made him mad. I mean, he was drinking. She's trying to sleep with a baby. What a fucking bitch, right? Yeah. As a matter of fact, put the cuffs on her. Get a little pair for the baby. So that he's cramping Ray's style. Get the littlest ones you got. Just put them on there.
Seems like an accessory after the fact to me, guys.
That's what it sounds like from my point of view.
Little instigating bastard.
What they taught me at the academy. I don't know. So then he's Mirandized, and in an interview, he said that he had consumed alcohol and acknowledged in the past that the victim has told him that she did not like when he had alcohol. He denied using force against her. He said he was upset because he thought the victim was smothering the baby. He said it was possible based on his size that he knocked something over by accident, but he denied breaking anything on purpose. Toxicology reports indicate that at that time he had a blood alcohol level of 0.12 4 hours after the incident.
Oh, God, he was hammered.
So shit-faced 4 hours earlier. That's a long time afterwards, man.
4 hours.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
The driver was interviewed. He said he had taken McDonald to the home early that morning. Initially, he waited outside. Then McDonald asked him to come inside and help him get things from inside the apartment. His driver said that the victim was angry because McDonald had woken her up in the middle of the night. Yeah, with a baby. It's a 2-month-old baby. You know how fucking hard it is to get this kid to sleep? You're up all the time. The driver told police that McDonald was angry at the victim because she was holding their baby dangerously and because he did not feel he should be treated poorly in his own home. That's what it was. How dare you tell me it had nothing to do with the baby.
The ego, this guy. Embarrassment, belittled in my own home.
Yeah, it's all of that.
He hates it.
So the witness admitted, this is the driver, that he held McDonald back during the argument, but he denied that McDonald had entrapped the victim behind a table or physically assaulted her. The driver told police that the two of them left the residence and drove away, waiting for the victim to leave. McDonald told him to drive back to the residence. When they saw police cars there, McDonald ordered him to drive away. Officers later noted that the driver's account of the incident was not consistent with the cell phone video taken by the victim of her trapped behind a table and him stalking her. The officer tries to contact him again to clear up the inconsistencies, and he can't get a hold of him.
Yeah.
So he's booked on a misdemeanor domestic violence charge, and So 2 days later, okay. Oh, by the way, the Bears release him. They're like, bye, asshole. They release him. 2 days later, investigators meet with her at the home to ensure her safety while she picked up some personal items. They took her to escort her there. When they arrived, he was there at the residence, even though there's an emergency restraining order keeping him from being at that residence. He's still there. He fled the residence, reached by phone. He told investigators he thought he was allowed to go back to the apartment as long as he stayed 300 yards away from her. So if she wasn't there, it was cool.
Yeah.
After confirming that a protective order had been served and an officer had repeatedly explained the terms of the order, he was located and arrested again and charged with violating a restraining order.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the video is not great, man. It really isn't. Please get away from me, Ray. You're in here acting crazy. What are you doing? I was sleeping in here with Amari, who's their son, and you come in here and act like this. This is fucking crazy. Yeah, you woke me up. It's fucking crazy. So her attorney, her attorney's a little biased to this, but I'm with her. She said that it was one of the most frightening videos she's ever seen. She said, I find that video one of the most horrifying things I've seen in 46 years of practicing law. It's pretty disturbing. It's bad. Also, she got all sorts of bruises from her face and legs, claiming that was and there's a lot of pictures of these bruises. She said she wanted to document her condition. She claims that she claims it was self-defense. If she ever hit him, it was self-defense. She said the fact is battered women are simply not believed if they don't have videos, if they don't have photos. Yeah, but a lot of people aren't. Yeah. Unless you have somebody going, I hit you, Johnny. Jesus, I didn't punch you. It's hard to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's her attorney says there's a certain worship of a sports celebrity that can't be mistaken, and that's true as fuck.
Yep.
So it's a bad time to be Ray McDonald right now.
Yeah.
Not a good time. He's been cut. He's got all sorts of problems. He's a fucking monster also. I would think that would make you feel like shit. It's also a bad time to be mistaken for Ray McDonald. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Ray McDonald's sales at Alarm Max Distributors, Inc. It's not him, everybody. Ray McDonald, general manager and fabrication coordinator at Gallo Mechanical LLC. I just like fabrication because that sounds like lies, in Louisiana. Ray McDonald, senior systems analyst and logistics solutions provider in Atlanta, Georgia. Wow. Ray McDonald, director of plant maintenance at the Worcester Community Hospital Health System in Worcester, Ohio. Ray McDonald, acupuncture intern at Maryland University of Integrative Health. And then finally, Ray McDonald, some fucking guy who was in showbiz and died in 1959 from visceral congestion.
Oh, God.
Apparently it says, quote, Ray McDonald was born to dance and dance he did. That's the opening of his bio. So that's like, all right. Born to dance and dance he did.
Boy, did he ever.
Now, they interview Kendra in the press, and she does a big interview and a big, like, open letter thing. She says, I don't want our son to get old enough to understand what's going on and to have to live like that. You could say I'm lucky to be sitting here and my son is still alive. She said, it's scary, terrifying. You're ashamed to talk about it and feel the feelings of just everything. There aren't words for it. Hopefully, Ray can get the help he needs to be a positive influence and a role model for our son. She says that the whole thing has been hard on her. She said it was public. The world has an opinion. I think it's a different game when you're a public figure. And then she says, I think that there's people who don't believe me, and there's people that do. I get a lot of hate mail and threats, and that's hard. It makes you want to curl up in a ball and not speak about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. May 27th, that is the one where he's arrested when he shows up at the house again, when he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
That's the one there. He's arrested for that. He wouldn't. At one point, they said, Santa Clara police, Ray, come out with your hands up. And there was no answer. So, he had taken off. He saw them and took off out the back door. So, he was talking to his dad on the phone when they found him there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he said that he also said the victim noticed that approximately $100 in small bills was missing from the master bedroom dresser and noticed that a single swinging door to the garage had been locked. The doors of the Bentley vehicle were also locked. He's got a Bentley there. The cop says he remembers seeing the cash in the dresser during the protective sweep of the apartment. So she's saying he stole $100 too from her dresser drawer.
Wow.
So he's released by the Bears, and they say, quote, we believe in second chances, but when we signed Ray, we were very clear what our expectations were if he were to remain a Bear. He was not able to meet that standard, and the decision was made to release him. Because he's been on our team like 3 days, and he's been arrested multiple times.
Yeah.
So his mom, Labrina McDonald, is pissed off at everybody. She's mad. She is super mad. She's mad that her son has now lost his opportunity in the NFL. It's bullshit.
Labrina.
She said, quote, he's learned a hard lesson about inviting certain people into his life. That's what she said about this. He has lost his NFL career. And the thing about it is, he's got to realize that it's not just about the NFL. It's about his freedom, rebuilding himself and moving on, because there is life after the NFL. She also insisted that Ray has never hit that woman, suggesting that the incident was a ploy by Kendra to secure sole custody of the child. It's on video.
Shit.
She said Ray McDonald's driver witnessed the incident and could not corroborate his claim of no physical contact. She says, quote, he realizes he should not have been there. I dreaded every time he was out in California. Like it was California's fault, the state in total.
Tell you what happens when you go to that San Francisco.
She then said,
become gay or punch a chick.
Yeah, you're fucked then. She said it was just a simple argument that got blown out of proportion and that the charges are just political.
Okay.
Political.
God damn it, Harvey Milk.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man, really? No shit. You got shot for this. So ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, the next day he's violating restraining orders and all that sort of shit. Kendra Scott writes an open letter about the abuse she's dealt with here. She describes an incident that she says happened between her and McDonald in November of 2014 when she was pregnant, saying that McDonald came home drunk one night. Oh, no, she wasn't pregnant yet. Was she? Yes, she was. She was. Came home drunk one night with a crowd of people blasting music and waking her up as she was 5 months pregnant. She said to McDonald, McDonald said, quote, "If you don't like it, Kendra, you can leave," then proceeded to talk to other women right in front of her while she was pregnant. She said she went into premature labor due to the stress and abuse you caused me and our unborn child, leaking fluids, bleeding, asking for your help, and all you can say was, "Get out, you're just a stupid bitch. I didn't want you or this baby anyways." Jesus Christ. She said that her friend Nessa, who's a Hot 97 DJ who was going out with Colin Kaepernick at the time, picked her up and drove her to the hospital. She said that doctors halted her contractions and sent in a social worker to discuss the situation. And she says that she was scared they would take my son from me if I told them you hit me. So she said she told them that she didn't hit her. He didn't hit her. Then she says this, quote, "You are sickening. I couldn't stop thinking that maybe if I spoke up sooner, this wouldn't have happened to this girl," talking about the rape accusation. "You would have been locked away where you deserve to be, where people like you go. And then you put the blame on me again. If I was there, you wouldn't have had any women over and slept with someone. Really, Ray? If I was there, so it's my fault you raped someone?" If you weren't there, I wouldn't have had any bitches to rape. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Wow. Can't say that. It's my fault you raped someone. It's my fault she fell, hit her head, got knocked out, and you took her clothes off, carried her upstairs, and raped a drunk, wounded girl. You'll never learn if you don't take responsibility for your own actions. You asked the girl for consent and recorded it on your phone. You knew it was wrong, that's why you did it. And after she said no, you still did it and took advantage of this woman. You are an abuser, period. A cowardly man, a monster.
Look, man, that's what happens when you move to California.
It's all California. That's the problem. She said that the NFL and her and nobody helped her out. She said that she broke up with Ray. Her and her infant son were forced to go on Medi-Cal and relied on friends in local restaurants for food.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yep. NFL spokesman here, Brian McCarthy, told Deadspin that the league's investigative team tried unsuccessfully to speak to her in the fall of 2014 and in 2015, but they were told by counsel that she didn't want to speak to them. So there's that. In an email, who was this here? In an email, she says the money, I guess they want to have an expert. They're trying to raise money for an expert on alcohol issues so they can try to, in the custody battle and all that kind of shit. So it's a big mess here. He's finally arrested for the December rape. He was never arrested. He's finally indicted and arrested in August of 2015 here. And then he ends up being fucking taken away. But while he's under the cloud of the rape charge, he was invited to be a guest speaker at Tennyson High School located in the Bay Area.
What the hell?
Purpose was to offer advice to at-risk students, urging them to get on the right path. You have rape charges literally pending.
It's literally on the worst track.
Wow.
Not a good path at all.
No. Fuck. The prosecutor, who had to drop the charges, said, "Despite my best efforts to convince the victim to testify, she refused. Regretfully, McDonald will not face a jury for what he did that night. We are disappointed he will not be held responsible." So, there's that. His lawyer said he's put on 20 pounds and he's going to see if he can get back in the NFL.
Wow.
NFL, by the way, never fucking takes him back. And then he publicly, in his this is his PR team, by the way, trying to get him back in the NFL, because right after that happens, there's a million articles about he's going to sue the woman who accused him of rape. He's going to sue her. I never saw anything about that going through. I never saw anything actually filed. I never saw it like a case that happened. Yeah. He's just saying that to show how innocent he is in the fucking court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the prosecutor said, we really needed her to testify. She didn't want to testify. He said that he's going to sue her. Quote, I feel like what I'm doing is the right thing because I know that I am not this bad person that people are making me out to be. I've been fired from my job. I know teams don't even want to talk to me because of this past accusation. All I'm trying to do is clear my name and move on with my life. Mm-hmm. So, he's like, this is crazy. 2020, by the way, there's another issue with his dogs. It's the people from the dog attack years ago are still trying to get a hold of him. They're trying to serve him. He's got all this type of shit here. They're trying to serve him with. He moved away and they couldn't find him. So they had to serve him through the Florida Secretary of State because he hid his whereabouts. Wow. This lawsuit, a West Palm Beach realtor, fucking his real estate agent is facing contempt of court charges for refusing to provide information on where he lives.
Hold on. They can subpoena my real estate agent to, is that right?
They're trying to find you, yeah, and he won't. You got to answer it, so he won't answer it. The prosecutor said, we will find him. The suit is not going away. Oh, yeah. What is this? Yeah. The suit is not going away. And you know what? What kind of man would do this and then not even apologize? He's playing a game of hide and seek, and it will not work. So we don't know if he ever got found by these people over the dog incident, but they said if that means I sue to object to reckless behavior, then I guess I'm litigious. I will continue to be, especially when it involves members of my family. That's the person there saying that. So can't get enough of Ray McDonald. I've had an ass full. I don't know about you.
I wish he would go away.
I don't like him.
I hope he stays away.
What a crazy 3-year fucking period he had.
And he did it all in a time that could stay under the radar, without being
Ray Rice, man.
Yeah,
Ray Rice.
Aaron Hernandez. There was
Greg
so
Hardy
much happening.
Big,
yeah.
It was all happening right then.
So much big shit happening that a dude, why does a dude raping a woman go under the radar? That's horrible. That's the worst.
I think because he was the least prominent of those players.
Yeah. And because, 19 sacks
he was a better player.
Over a career. Yeah.
Better, he was a better player. You'd know about it more.
Absolutely.
That's sad to say, but that's what I think it is.
That's embarrassing.
It's fucking pathetic. So anyway, crazy story. If you like that story, or anyway, how we tell it, tell the world about it. Get on Apple Podcasts or whatever platform app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars. It does help a lot. I will say that. Helps drive us up the charts. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com where you can get everything crime and sports and small town murder related. All your merchandise, new stuff up all the time. Tickets for live shows all over the country. There's a Crime and Sports live show with some tickets left in August at the Ace of Spades in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. Get that. You can also follow us on social media at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. You can do all of those things. You can also sign up for Patreon and get some good bonus stuff.
Yes, you can.
Oh, baby, do we have good bonus stuff this week. This week we have patreon.com/Crime and Sports. Anybody $5 or above is not only going to get your Crime and Sports bonus, you're going to get Small Town Murder bonus episodes too.
Yeah.
All of them. You're going to get everything we put out, and a shout out as well, like we'll talk about. But this week for Patreon, what you're going to get for anybody $5 or above, for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about a scammer, which I love. This guy's like the D.B. Cooper of sports, okay?
Really?
He came from nowhere, lied about his credentials, raced one NASCAR race, fucking crashed 5 times during the race, by the way, kept going. The race is a crazy story in itself, and then disappears, and no one ever found out who he was, why he did that. It just went for 40 years this happened.
Yeah.
For 40 years, no one has known who this man is, what happened, and then just a week or two ago, he came out and said, okay, I'm me, and this is what happened. It's a fucking amazing story. We'll get into that for Crime and Sports. And then for Small Town Murder, we have a very cool one as well. We're going to talk about how pop culture at certain times has been blamed for murders, basically. Video games, music, and, people have tried to grandstand and blame murders on it. We'll talk about some of those.
I hope you hit us with a legitimate one.
Nope, I don't think they exist. That's why. Not possible. So, you can get all of that and more. The whole back catalog, there's like 150 episodes. There's so much shit on there. Get it all at patreon.com/crime and sports and get your shout out, which we're going to do just in a second here.
Great.
And we're going to tell you how wonderful you are. And Jimmy will do that by mispronouncing your name terribly. That said, I think I need them right now. Jimmy, give me a list of the names of wonderful people who would never do anything that fucking Ray McDonald did because he is disgusting. Hit me with that list right now.
This week's executive producer, Jordan Bennett. Patricia Butler kicking the shit out of cancer. Keep going, Patty.
Hey,
did you go by Patty?
congrats.
I don't know if you do or not. That was a disgusting assumption. Well done, Patricia.
Someone could call me Jimmy. I'm not going to get mad at them. Like, I don't care.
All right. Sammy Weir, Greg Thomas, Tasha Messmer, Joey Morley, and a Franz Chingona real estate. I think it's a Franz Chingona. I don't know.
Just buy a house, everybody.
From A. Franz. Maybe the Franz.
From Palm Franz Chingona. Buy them from him. A. Franz.
Or
I don't know.
I don't know. We're
Palasama Hollemans. I don't know.
Doing a lot of assuming in this. I don't know if it's. I don't know who it is. It may not be a
lot
person.
Of assumptions here, Jimmy.
A Franz Chingona might be some car. I don't know.
Well, it sounds like a nice watch.
It does.
It's a nice Franz Chingona. Is that a Franz Chingona? That's a nice one.
And our special tonight is the Franz Chingona.
Oh. Is that sauteed or? Oh, you do it in the pan. Okay, yeah, we'll take that then.
The white wine prawn sauce. Thank you guys so much, truly. Other producers this week are Corporal Carl Kirshner, Tony Simpson, Happy Hour checking in Eugene, Oregon, Joey Pepperoni Nips, Peyton Meadows, James Martyr, Thomas Smith, Deadhead Dan in Illinois, Julie Matt or Matei. She had a baby. Congratulations, Julie. Jennifer Bonfiglio, Sophia Strickland running marathons for no goddamn reason. Good work. Hang on. For whatever reason you guys do those.
Why don't you fucking relax a little bit, huh?
Why don't you sit down, Sophia? Take a break.
Just sit down and relax. What are you doing?
Too many miles.
You got somewhere to be or what?
Giuseppe Enrico Ferrara Tiberi.
Yes.
That's
a good one.
Edward Stewart, Samantha Quigley, happy birthday. Steve Schnell, Janice Hill, Frank the South African Birdwasher, Angela Ball, you're so great. Not us, you're so great. John Daniel, Brendan Abels, Matt Jules Sonnet, Corey Ostrander, Kelsey Blake, nope, that's Break. Griff with no last name, Earl Cunningham, Nathan Davis, Mariah Bruce, Robbie Coomer, Lauren Coots maybe, Uncle Grady, Janae Wood, not Hood. Tanae Crystal, Scuffling Hillbilly Patrick Fleming. I imagine he fights. DJ Fetty. That's the man's name, DJ Fetty. Dustin Chrisman, Jennifer Leach, Rick Conlon, Jamie Hayes, Kristen with no last name, Shelton Leverett, Taylor Martin, Miss Root, Tylene, I think, Alton with no last name, Damon Webb, Tim Becker, Robert Walker, Samuel Lyon, Lori Valencourt. I don't know. Kim Leverett, Debbie Spencer, Philip Blair, Zach Harris, Lance Day, Sarah Parker, Alexa Joseph, Danny Ruiz, Jesse Fedgy, Conduit. Oh, Fedgy. Jess Fedgy, Conduit of Veggies. Spencer Brown, Jerry Bowling, Renette with no last name, Eliza Gallego, that's it. Diane Ellette, Melissa Pieri.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. Garrett Wolverton, Julia X, Goat, Dale Dragonsons, Karen Creasy, Pedro Davila, Evan Pilkington, Ramey Beach, Norma Metzger, Deja, Brian, no last name, Brian Rudinger, Common Gutter Drunk, Barbara Antley, Laura with no last name, Finn Liebecky, Eliza Matern, Jose Luis Mercado, Dylan Sponseller, Dana Hutchinson, Jade Lloyd, Jennifer Walters, Trisha Davis, Garrett Ead, Justin Eldridge, Neil Wyckoff, what does this say? Weinkauf? I don't know. April Barnes, Sarah with no last name, Andrea Jones, Savannah Weller, Tim Purcell, Wendy Middleton, Brad Phillips, Andrea Holly, Hale, Timothy Hodges, Kristen Matheson, and Nicole Ortiz, Haley, Marie, Darius Johnson, Alex Holvalchik, Sherry Butler, Butcher, damn it. C. McDermott, Jennifer Martin, Friday Baldwin, Jenny Scooter, Erica Polly, Evan Irwin, Stacy with no last name, Amanda Martika, Nicole Douglas, Tiara with, that's just Tara. Tara with no last name.
Tiara.
Maureen Wilson, Don Moody, Justin Case, all right, sure. John Hackney, Mr. Tracy, Bobby Bunyo, Leah W., Kaylee Garner, Julia Vallado, Meta Somerville, Braden with no last name, Jenna McKenzie, Tyler Bell, Cindy Caldenaro, SC, Tattooed Cactus, Cody Coaster, Natasha Barker, Rob Dixon, Robert Hand, Robert Kolak, Todd Smith, Audra T, Carl with no last name, Leanne Heathman, Jennifer Page, Seth Miller, Kevin Wilmington, Olivia Fisher, Melissa Lovelace, Jamie Byington, Amber Dagerstrom, Kaylin Yeagle, Lacey Wright, Paz Barnett, Dylan DeLazio, Megan Durr, Christian Eisinger, Jesus, Amy Box, Outside Bullet, Shelby Feller, Laura Cologne, I think it's Cologne, that's not colon, Dylan Morell, Lindsay Lavelle, Wale Solai, Kiara Brown, Mark Turner, Stephanie and Craig, Vincent Dame, Jose with no last name, Ryan McGinley, The Popcorn Effect, Shannon Proctor, Logan Clark, Make Hancock. That's got to be Mike. That can't be Make. Daniel.
Make Hancock.
Make
it.
All
Make
right.
it.
Danielle Hudson, Lucas Sheets, Ellie Boyce, Ellie from Texas, Olivia Francis, Zach Sutton, Katie N, Matthew with no last name, Jennifer Hess, Colin Whitney, Tucker with no last name, Matthew Finney, Cora Wolf, Anna Bloomquist, Heather Hunter, Casey Menth, Ken Reigel, Samuel Marta, Julio Barcia, Justin Yaquinto, Kai with no last name, Jackie Stanley, Lauren G, Desiree Harry Hare, Derek Bro, Bry Mundorf, Vanessa Alicia, and Audrey gonna be a Rudd, Matthew Lawrence, Philip Kelly, Violi Carroll, Ellie Green, Caitlin Voss maybe, Rebecca Yeager, RM, Felix, I almost called him physical, Hernandez, Felix Hernandez, Brian Rogalski, Ashley Powell, Ken Fritz, Maureen Keller, Paul C., Rhino, and the Jerk, and all of our patrons. You guys are unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for all that you do for us, for everything. We really do appreciate it.
Shit.
Whether it's Patreon or just a review or just telling your friend or posting on social media, we really do appreciate everything you do for us. Spread the crime and sports gospel, everyone. Really, honestly, it's good stuff, and thank you for everything like that. If you want to get a hold of us outside of this, it's very easy to do that. You can go over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Links to everything. You can find us on social media, find us wherever, or just Google Crime and Sports podcast hosts. We're the only ones, so you will never be confused, we assure you. And that said, thank you so much for hanging out with us, as always, and listening to just a goddamn terrible story. And we're going to keep doing it again and again.
See you soon.
Absolutely live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.